Chapter 202. Is that so? It's really delicious. Zhao Yun felt that Mu Lianfeng was used to eating delicacies. With his identity, he could have anything he wanted. Wouldn't a bowl of eggs seem a little shabby for him? It's good that you like it. Then I'll go out first. I have to deliver the goods. Young Master Mu, your injuries are more serious. Try to lie on the bed and don't move. Have a good rest. Zhao Yun instructed. Okay. Zhao Yun left with the basket on her back and closed the door. Zhao Yun only returned to the village when it was close to noon. Today, she went to the town to buy brown sugar longan, pork liver, and pork. Zhao Yun felt that her money was flowing out. It was not easy to make money, but the speed of spending money was really fast. She just casually bought some things and the money was gone. It seemed that it was still very difficult to save money to build a house. Zhao Yun had asked before. It was cheap to build a house in ancient times. Otherwise, many people would not be crowded in a house. Putting aside the foundation, there was no need to buy a house on the original foundation. If she bought a new house, she would need at least 1 or 2 taels of silver. It was much cheaper than the field, but it was still not a small expense. If it was an adobe house, the price would be much lower. However, this kind of house was not sturdy. Zhao Yun did not plan to build this kind of house. Building a brick house required a combination of materials and labor. Building 3 houses would cost more than 10 taels of silver. That was a huge sum of money. Zhao Yun only had 600 copper coins in her pocket after deducting the expenses. Mu Lianfeng would probably spend more money living in her house during this period of time. Not to mention saving money, it was already good that she did not spend the 600 copper coins that she had saved up. Therefore, 10 taels of silver was simply too far away for her to reach in her current situation. Zhao Yun opened the door and put down the basket she was carrying. Dao De leaned against Mu Lianfeng and listened to Mu Lianfeng's words. The scene of the two of them together was very heartwarming. Zhao Yun looked at Dao De and Mu Lianfeng, who were leaning against each other, and felt that the two of them looked more and more alike. At first glance, they looked like father and son. Mu Lianfeng said something that made Dao De giggle. Zhao Yun had never seen such a bright smile on Dao De's face. Was this little milk bun really that happy to be with Mu Lianfeng? He was happier than when he was with her. Seeing that Zhao Yun had returned, Dao De quickly climbed down from the bed and went to Zhao Yun. Mother, you're back? Yes, mother is back. What are Dao De and your Uncle Feng talking about so happily? Zhao Yun still couldn't help but be curious, so she asked Lil P seemingly unintentionally. To Zhao Yun's surprise, Dao De and Mu Lianfeng looked at each other and communicated with their eyes for a moment. Dao De smiled and said to Zhao Yun, Mother, it's nothing. Dao De didn't say anything to Uncle Feng. Zhao Yun was speechless. This little milk bun actually learned how to lie. There was obviously something going on. Otherwise, why would he be smiling so happily? In front of Mu Lianfeng, Zhao Yun couldn't continue to ask. I'll go cook for you. Zhao Yun said. Mother, Dao De will help you too, Dao De said softly and followed Zhao Yun out of the room. Chapter 203. Mom, is Uncle Feng going to stay with us for a long time? Dao De asked in his baby voice. Zhao Yun thought for a while. I think so. Mu Lianfeng was seriously injured. If he didn't go back to the air mansion, he would have to recuperate for a long time at her place. She estimated that it would take half a month to more than a month. Dao De was very excited when he heard that. He couldn't hide the smile on his little face and his eyes lit up. Zhao Yun's mouth twitched for a while. Dao De, do you want your Uncle Feng to stay with us so much? Yes, Dao De likes Uncle Feng. If Uncle Feng can stay with us, maybe Uncle Feng will fall in love with you. Uncle Feng can also be Dao De's father. Zhao Yun was impressed by this little boy. She couldn't wait to let Mu Lianfeng be his father. Daodu was young and immature. He just wanted to have a father. If Daodu's biological father heard Daodu's words, what would he think? Mom, Uncle Feng is with us now. Daodu will work hard. Mom, you have to work hard too. Okay, looking at Daodu's mischievous behavior, Zhao Yun couldn't help laughing. He knew how to scheme at such a young age. Love wasn't so simple. It wasn't easy to fall in love with someone. The lunch was very sumptuous. There was pork liver soup, braised pork, cabbage, and fried beans. Zhao Tianfu came over at noon. He said that he had eaten at home. Now Liang Jinxiao insisted that Zhao Tianfu eat at home before he came over. He was afraid that Zhao Tianfu would eat at Zhao Yun's place again. Tianfu, are you full? No. Zhao Tianfu shook his head and answered Zhao Yun'er honestly. Zhao Tianfu was used to eating at Zhao Yun'er's place. When he went back and ate old Zhao's food, he really couldn't swallow it. After all, there wasn't much oil, and old Zhao's cooking skills were ordinary. If I'm not full, I'll eat some more at second sister's place. Zhao Tianfu shook his head. Second sister, mother doesn't allow me to eat. Zhao Yun'er smiled and continued to persuade Zhao Tianfu, it's okay. If second sister says it's okay, then it's okay. It's not like we haven't eaten. The lunch today is so good. Don't you want to eat it? Zhao Tianfu looked at the red braised pork on the table. He swallowed his saliva. You don't want to eat? How could this be? It's okay. If second sister doesn't tell mother, mother won't know either. Under Zhao Yun'er's persuasion, Zhao Tianfu's original insistence also loosened. She was still a child after all. In the face of delicious food, she couldn't control herself. Zhao Yun'er scooped rice for the two children, and they leaned over the table to eat. Mu Lianfeng lay on the bed and couldn't get out. Zhao Yun'er brought a bowl of rice to the bed. Mu Lianfeng's right hand had been stabbed, so he couldn't move. Zhao Yun originally wanted to let Mu Lianfeng eat by himself. Mu Lianfeng couldn't use one of his hands, and the other hand couldn't be used smoothly. He couldn't pick up the food with his chopsticks at all. Looking at Mu Lianfeng's distressed appearance of trying hard and failing again and again, Zhao Yun'er couldn't bear to watch anymore. She said to Mu Lianfeng, young Master Mu, let me feed you. Mu Lianfeng was stunned. He raised his beautiful eyes to look at Zhao Yun'er and said to Zhao Yun'er apologetically, Miss Yun'er, sorry to trouble you. Zhao Yun shook her head. It's okay. Chapter 204. She had never fed a man before, especially a handsome man like Mu Lianfeng. Zhao Yun'er sat on the edge of Mu Lianfeng's bed to make it easier for her to feed him. Even the distance between them became unusually close. Her heart was thumping, and Zhao Yun could even feel her heartbeat speeding up. Mu Lianfeng's eyes seemed to be staring at her. Under Mu Lianfeng's scorching gaze, Zhao Yun'er felt that her ears and face began to heat up. She had a feeling of wanting to escape immediately, but she still had to bite the bullet and continue. Different from Zhao Yun'er's nervousness and shyness, Mu Lianfeng had a faint smile on his face. Open your mouth. Zhao Yun'er fed Mu Lianfeng the food and said casually. Zhao Yun'er treated such an injured person like a child. Okay. Mu Lianfeng cooperated with Zhao Yun'er and opened his mouth. He enjoyed the process of Zhao Yun'er feeding him. Zhao Yun'er gave Mu Lianfeng a big bowl of pig liver soup. The other two children also drank a little. There was still a bowl left. She planned to heat it up for Mu Lianfeng to eat at night. In addition to the pig liver soup, Mu Lianfeng ate 3 bowls of rice. Zhao Yun'er saw that Mu Lianfeng's appetite was really too big. If it went on like this, her expenses and budget would be much bigger. Mu Lianfeng couldn't treat him badly. He had to cook some delicious food every day. In this way, it really cost a lot of money. Zhao Yun'er fed Mu Lianfeng and quickly ran away. After being close to Mu Lianfeng for so long, her heart was pounding violently. She felt suffocated. I'm going to eat too. Zhao Yun whispered. Okay. Mu Lianfeng's voice was soft. Zhao Yun quickly ate her lunch. In the afternoon, Dao Du and Zhao Tianfu continued to catch bullfrogs in the field. Zhao Yun first helped Mu Lianfeng change his dressing and bandage his wound. Yesterday, when Mu Lianfeng fainted, Zhao Yun helped Mu Lianfeng bandage his wound. Now that Mu Lianfeng was awake, Zhao Yun didn't know how to help him. Mr. Mu, can you apply the medicine yourself? Zhao Yun asked timidly. Mu Lianfeng was struck dumb for a second, then he thought for a few seconds and said to Zhao Yun, I may have to trouble you to change my dressing. I can't move my arm, and I can't do it with one hand. Zhao Yun felt helpless. It meant that she had to help Mu Lianfeng change his dressing. There was no other person here who could help Mu Lianfeng. There were men who could help, and Zhao Yun didn't want to expose Mu Lianfeng. Well, I'll change it for you. Thank you, Yun. You may need to take off your clothes. Mr. Mu, don't you mind being seen by me? Zhao Yun asked with a guilty conscience. Didn't Yun change my clothes yesterday? Since Yun has already seen it, it doesn't matter if you see it a second or third time, Mu Lianfeng said with a smile. Mu Lianfeng didn't mean anything else, but Zhao Yun felt more embarrassed after hearing Mu Lianfeng's words. She had no choice but to see his naked body. Did Mu Lianfeng misunderstand that she was a pervert? He felt like weeping but had no tears. Yun, it's fine. I'm a man, not a woman. Even if you see my naked body, it won't be a loss, Mu Lianfeng said again. Chapter 205. In fact, Mu Lianfeng did not even have a maid to serve him in the Murong mansion. All the maids who served him were men. For someone of Mu Lianfeng's status, there were maids to serve him when he took a bath. However, when Mu Lianfeng took a bath, he did not allow maids to stay by his side. He did not like women to appear by his side, nor did he like his body to be seen by women. However, Mu Lianfeng only said such words to Zhao Yun. Mu Lianfeng also realized that many of his original perseverance disappeared in front of Zhao Yun. Miss Yun, you don't mind, do you? Will it be unfair for Miss Yun? I don't mind. Zhao Yun shook her head. Why would she mind? If it were another woman who let her see such a handsome man, she would be more than happy. Let's apply the medicine. Zhao Yun helped Mu Lianfeng untie the clothes on his body with trembling hands. The white cloth that was originally bandaged was dirty, so Zhao Yun took out a new clean white cloth. After applying the medicine, she continued to bandage Mu Lianfeng again. It took more than half an hour. Zhao Yun was nervous, but she really did not have the mood to look at Mu Lianfeng's body. Okay, you lie on the bed and have a good rest. I'll go out for a while. Okay. Mu Lianfeng watched Zhao Yun's figure leave and put away the thoughts in his eyes. He was obviously seriously injured, but at this moment, not only did he not feel pain, but he also felt happy in his heart. If possible, he really wanted to stay at Zhao Yun's place and not leave. Whether it was with Zhao Yun or with Dao Du, Mu Lianfeng felt relaxed. This feeling was something he had never felt in the Crown Prince's mansion. Zhao Yun took the cloth to Auntie Lu and asked her how to make the clothes. No matter how much he tried to figure it out, he still couldn't figure it out. Auntie Lu's family had been quite busy these few days. There were many fields at home, and the seedlings had to be cultivated. After a while, they would start transplanting rice seedlings. Women rarely worked in the fields. The 3 men in Aunt Lu's family were more or less able to finish the work. As for the women, they did housework at home, cooking, washing clothes, raising chickens and pigs, and so on. Actually, it wasn't easy. When Zhao Yun went to Auntie Lu's house, Auntie Lu was feeding the chickens outside the house. When the villagers raised chickens, they basically raised hens. Hens ate less than roosters and could also lay eggs to exchange for money. The price of the eggs was 1 copper coin each. After feeding the chickens, he would use some rice bran to fill the chicken with rice and other things. Sometimes, he could also dig some earthworms and cut some vegetable leaves to feed the chickens. The cost of raising the chickens was not very high. Auntie Lu. Zhao Yun'er walked closer and called out. Her footsteps weren't light, but Auntie Lu seemed to be deep in thought and didn't notice her arrival. It wasn't until Zhao Yun'er called out that Auntie Lu reacted. Yun'er, you're here? Is there something you need? Zhao Yun'er nodded. Auntie Lu, I bought some cloth for Daodu. I want to make a set of clothes for him, but I don't know how to do it myself, so I'm here to ask for advice. Auntie Lu saw the cloth in Zhao Yun'er's hands. Yun'er, this cloth isn't cheap, is it? It's a little expensive. It's rare to make a set of clothes for Daodu, so it's a little expensive. Chapter 206. Yes, yes. I haven't made clothes for Daodu in the past few years. It's not easy to make clothes for him. Naturally, I have to make it well. Okay. Yun'er, come in and sit in the house. I'll tell you slowly. Aunt Lu said. Zhao Yun nodded and entered the house with Aunt Lu. Aunt Lu had 2 daughters-in-law. The eldest daughter-in-law, Madame Sun, had already returned from her maternal home. Madame Zhou went to deliver tea to the men working in the fields. Aunt Lu had 3 granddaughters. The eldest was 8 years old, the second was 6 years old, and the youngest was 3 or 4 years old. They were about the same age as Daodu. Although the children were young, they were very well behaved. Other than playing, they helped the family with some small chores. The little girls were very delicate and pretty, but they were not like children in modern times. They were clean and did not have such beautiful little clothes or dresses to wear. Zhao Yun'er stared at the children. After having a son, she suddenly wanted to have a daughter. If she had a daughter, she would definitely dress the child up beautifully. She would wear the most beautiful little clothes and dress the child up like a little princess. Of course, these were just Zhao Yun'er's thoughts. Not to mention that she did not have the conditions to have a child. It was not her own business to have a child. At least, she needed a man. Where could she find a man? The children were stared at by Zhao Yun'er and lowered their heads in embarrassment. They ran away from Zhao Yun'er all of a sudden. Zhao Yun'er smiled. She guessed that they were shy. Zhao Yun'er sat down in front of Aunt Lu and listened to Aunt Lu's careful explanation. Zhao Yun'er nodded repeatedly as she listened. However, making clothes was still a little complicated. Zhao Yun'er felt that her IQ could not keep up. If there was something she did not understand, Zhao Yun'er would ask clearly and then seriously remember it. Otherwise, she would have to go to Auntie Lu's place and trouble her. Yun'er, why don't you hand the cloth over to me? I'll make a set of clothes for Daodu later, but it'll take a little longer. It's fine if you're not in a hurry. Seeing that Auntie Lu was so concerned about Daodu, Zhao Yun'er was a little touched, but she still rejected Auntie Lu. Firstly, he felt that it was too troublesome for her. Secondly, he still had to do it in the future, so he couldn't keep troubling her. There's no need, Auntie Lu. I'll do it myself when I get back. If you teach me how to do it, I'll have to figure it out slowly when I get back. If you can't do it the first time, you'll get it done the second time and the third time. Auntie Lu laughed heartily when she heard that. He felt that Zhao Yun'er was really different from before. Yun'er girl, you've never been to school, but you can still talk about these great principles. You're really amazing. Auntie Lu looked at Zhao Yun'er with admiration in her eyes. Zhao Yun'er smiled slightly. What she said was not great principles. It was just something she often heard from others. Auntie Lu and Zhao Yun'er chatted for a while. Zhao Yun'er could feel that Auntie Lu was absent-minded from time to time. She felt that she was worried about something, so she asked. Chapter 207. Auntie Lu's face was full of worry as she spoke. People in the countryside were most afraid of getting sick. A minor illness was enough for their family to suffer, let alone a serious illness. Basically, they could casually take a few medicines and it would cost a few hundred copper coins. Who could afford to pay a few hundred taels of silver for a serious illness? The short lifespan of the ancient people was not only related to diet. Sometimes, when they encountered such a serious illness and had no money to treat it, they would simply not treat it and let it die naturally. Uncle Lu was only in his 50s and was not old. At home, he could help with a lot of farm work. Sometimes, he could even go to the town and sell some small things in the city to earn some money. If Uncle Lu passed away, there would be one less man in the family and life would be much harder. Uncle Lu and Auntie Lu had a good relationship and the family was harmonious. Putting that aside, as a family member, they naturally could not bear to see a member of the family die. As Auntie Lu spoke, she sighed again. My old man is lying in bed. At night, he's complaining that his body hurts. I'm afraid that if I don't take him to the city for treatment, he won't be able to hold on much longer. Seeing him in pain at night, I don't feel good in my heart. Zhao Yun could understand Auntie Lu's feelings, but she did not know how to comfort her. Auntie Lu's family had a few mu of land. If they sold it, they could get some money. However, if the villagers lost their land, their family would not be able to live anymore. Although she was helpless, after weighing the pros and cons, she could only endure the pain and not treat Uncle Lu. Therefore, at present, only money could help Auntie Lu. Zhao Yun thought about it and came up with a solution. Auntie Lu, can Brother Shanzi and Brother Muzi spare some time? Auntie Lu asked curiously, Yun, what's wrong? Zhao Yun did not hide anything in front of Auntie Lu. Instead, she told Auntie Lu about her method of making money. Auntie Lu knew that bullfrogs could be sold at such a high price and was very surprised. However, she did not doubt Zhao Yun. Auntie Lu thought for a while. Zhao Yun could afford to buy such good clothes for Daodu, so she really made money. Auntie Lu, this thing sells well and the restaurant buys a lot of them. We can't catch much of them in our village every day. If Brother Shanzi or Muzi have time, you can help me collect some of them from the surrounding villages and I'll send them to the restaurant. When the time comes, we'll split the money they earn from the bullfrogs 50-50. This way, I can also save some money to treat Uncle Lu as soon as possible. Little Yun, it's been a little busy recently. Let Muzi handle the work in the fields alone. Later on, we women can also work in the fields. Let Shanzi go to other villages to collect the crops. It's okay, Auntie Lu. If you don't help me collect them, I won't have the time to go there myself and I won't be able to earn the money. I can get 50% more. It's free. I should be grateful to you. Zhao Yun said. Chapter 208. The main purpose of her doing this was to help Aunt Lu's family. As for money, she didn't care too much about it. When she was in trouble, Aunt Lu had helped her a lot. As a person, she knew how to be grateful. When others were in trouble, she naturally had to help them. Zhao Yun could tell that Aunt Lu didn't really want to trouble Zhao Yun. The current situation was too helpless. This time, she owed Zhao Yun a favor, and she would repay it in the future. Zhao Yun didn't stay at Aunt Lu's place for long before she went back. In the afternoon, she was busy with the vegetable garden. Seeing that it was spring, the trees were lush and green, and there were many places where bright flowers were growing. Zhao Yun dug up some morning glories and planted them beside the fence of the vegetable garden. When the early summer season came, the morning glories would bloom. It should be very beautiful then, right? Zhao Yun finished the work at hand and entered the house. She met Mu Yanfeng's eyes. He was lying on the bed alone, and it was obvious that he was really bored. Zhao Yun was embarrassed to be alone in the house with him. She felt that the atmosphere would be a little awkward. What made Zhao Yun heave a sigh of relief was that Mu Yanfeng was more talkative and could always talk about a topic. Zhao Yun's impression of Mu Lianfeng also changed a little. This man was not very deep and cold. Miss Yun. Mu Lianfeng called out to Zhao Yun and looked at her a little awkwardly. Seeing that Mu Lianfeng's face was slightly red, Zhao Yun asked, "What's wrong?" Mu Lianfeng's face turned even redder. Miss Yun, I want to go to the toilet. Zhao Yun, was slightly stunned, and her face also turned red. The two of them looked at each other and only felt that it was strange. Zhao Yun knew that Mu Lianfeng wanted to go to the toilet because he wanted to poop. He didn't say it so bluntly. Mu Lianfeng also had a wound on his ankle, so it was best for him to stay in bed and not move. Zhao Yun had specially prepared a urinal for Mu Lianfeng to pee in. As for defecating, she had never thought of it. Mu Lianfeng's stomach growled a few times. Zhao Yun reacted and whispered to Mu Lianfeng, I'll take you there. Damn it, this is really awkward. Zhao Yun lowered her head, not daring to look at Mu Lianfeng. After all, she was just a woman and not a tomboy. She wasn't that thick-skinned. Then I'll have to trouble Miss Yun. Mu Lianfeng thanked her, and his tone was also very embarrassed. Zhao Yun supported Mu Lianfeng, and Mu Lianfeng put one hand on Zhao Yun's shoulder. When Mu Lianfeng stood up and Zhao Yun leaned against Mu Lianfeng's body, she realized that Mu Lianfeng was really much taller than her. She was like a weak little doll that couldn't stand the wind. And beside him, close to Mu Lianfeng, the tip of her nose was enveloped by Mu Lianfeng's pleasant scent. Her head started to feel dizzy. She actually liked the feeling of being so close to Mu Lianfeng. Was he possessed? Why did he keep having unrealistic fantasies these days? Zhao Yun supported Mu Lianfeng and walked with difficulty. Mu Lianfeng's body was too big and heavy. With her weak body, she couldn't exert much strength. The ancient countryside's latrine pit was very simple. Some straw was used to build a simple shed, and there was a vat inside. 2 wooden planks were placed on top of the vat, and people stood on the 2 planks to defecate. Chapter 209. Ancient times were not like modern times, where there were all kinds of man-made compound fertilizers. In this era, the fertilizers were all kinds of feces. Although it sounded a little disgusting, the vegetables grown with this kind of natural fertilizer were definitely more delicious than those grown with compound fertilizers. Mu Lianfeng was supported by Zhao Yun to the latrine pit. He was stunned and looked at it with uncertainty. Miss Yun, is this the place? Mu Lianfeng asked. He probably felt that this latrine pit was too shabby, right? Zhao Yun guessed in her heart. Mu Lianfeng's identity was not ordinary. He lived in the Shitzi residence. The latrine in the residence was definitely much better than the latrine pit in her house. When Zhao Yun had just transmigrated, she was really not used to this latrine pit. Now that she had used it for a period of time, she slowly got used to it. It's here. Zhao Yun responded. She glanced at Mu Lianfeng's reaction. As expected, a trace of shock and helplessness flashed in his eyes. Zhao Yun also had no choice. The latrine pit at home was like this. What could she do? It was a pity that there were no flush toilets in this era. Otherwise, it would be much more convenient. Can I do it? Mu Lianfeng asked with uncertainty. If he squatted down, his injured leg would definitely have to exert force. However, his leg was so badly injured. If he exerted force, the wound would definitely split open, right? Even if he could barely support himself with one leg, he still felt that it was a little difficult to take a dump like this. Young Master Mu, can you just make do with it? The latrines in the village are all like this. I can't help you find a better one. If I can find one, I will definitely bring you there. The more Zhao Yun spoke, the softer her voice became. Not long after she said it, she started to regret it and wanted to take it back. It was obviously too late. After Mu Lianfeng recovered from his shock, a faint smile appeared on his face. Looking at Zhao Yun's blushing face, he felt that she was unusually cute. Miss Yun, It's okay, I'll make do with it. I'm just afraid that my leg can't take it. If it can't take it, I'll get up again. All right. Zhao Yun'er helped Mu Lianfeng in. The latrine pit was too small, so she could only stand outside and let Mu Lianfeng go in alone. Besides, Mu Lianfeng was a grown man squatting down to defecate. Not to mention whether he was used to it or not, she would definitely be too embarrassed to look if there was someone beside him who was in the way. Go in by yourself. I'll wait for you outside. Zhao Yun said, her face as red as a monkey's butt. Mu Lianfeng didn't say much and just nodded. Just as Zhao Yun turned her back to him, Mu Lianfeng called out to Zhao Yun again. Miss Yun'er, what's wrong? Zhao Yun asked without turning around. Miss Yun, I may need to trouble you, Mu Lianfeng said. One could hear the guilt in his tone. Young Master Mu, if there's anything you need, just let me know. I can't untie my belt with one hand. Can I trouble Miss Yun, to help me untie it? Zhao Yun, listened for a long time before she could react. Her mouth was agape. For a moment, she didn't know what to say. This guy meant that he wanted her to help him take off his pants. As a woman, Zhao Yun was naturally very embarrassed. Miss Yun, Mu Lianfeng could see Zhao Yun's embarrassment, but he couldn't say it out loud. However, his left hand really couldn't untie it. Chapter 210. Of course, it was her first time doing this, so she was inevitably a little nervous. She moved closer to Mu Lianfeng, and the distance between the two of them was very close. When Zhao Yun's hand reached out to Mu Lianfeng's belt, her hand began to tremble. The belts of ancient people were somewhat similar to the belts of modern times. However, Zhao Yun still didn't know how to untie this thing. Just like the clothes of ancient times, it was much more complicated to wear than modern clothes. When she first transmigrated, Zhao Yun even studied how to wear clothes. Zhao Yun tried for 2 to 3 minutes, but she still couldn't untie it. She became even more anxious. Wasn't this a little too awkward? Mu Lianfeng didn't expect that Zhao Yun didn't even know how to untie his belt. He lowered his head and saw Zhao Yun's beautiful eyes staring at his belt. Her body was trembling slightly. He could feel Zhao Yun's nervousness. Miss Yun, take your time. There's no rush. Mu Lianfeng comforted her. It was fine if Mu Lianfeng didn't speak, but once he spoke, Zhao Yun felt even more embarrassed. Young Master Mu, I've never seen your belt before. I don't know how to untie it. Zhao Yun's answer stunned Mu Lianfeng. I'll study it again. Young Master Mu, wait for me. Zhao Yun said with a red face. The two of them looked at each other and felt that something was wrong. After Mu Lianfeng was stunned for a few seconds, the corners of his mouth curled up into an inexplicable smile. However, Zhao Yun lowered her head and didn't see it. Okay, Miss Yun, The smell in the latrine was a little strong. Zhao Yun naturally didn't want Mu Lianfeng to smell it for so long. He looked at Mu Lianfeng again and again, and finally helped Mu Lianfeng untie his belt. Seeing that Mu Lianfeng's pants almost fell down, Zhao Yun hurriedly helped Mu Lianfeng pull up his pants. Otherwise, she would really see Mu Lianfeng's butt. It didn't matter if she looked at the man's upper body, but if she looked at his lower body again, it would be very awkward. Young Master Mu, your pants are about to fall off. You have to lift them up yourself. All right. Mu Lianfeng reached out and pulled up his pants. Zhao Yun'er quickly turned around and walked out of the latrine. You're such a piece of sh*t. I'll wait for you outside. Call me if anything happens, Zhao Yun said. All right. Zhao Yun'er waited for a while. When Mu Lianfeng called her again, Zhao Yun'er thought that Mu Lianfeng was done, but she didn't expect Mu Lianfeng to say, Miss Yun, do you have toilet paper? Toilet paper? No. Zhao Yun'er said. She forgot to bring it when she went out just now. People in this era, especially the people in the countryside, rarely used toilet paper. They used a wooden stick to remove it or wipe it off with tree leaves. The reason why they didn't use toilet paper wasn't that they didn't want to use it, but that the paper in this era was more expensive. Rich families could afford it, but the people in the countryside weren't willing to spend money on it. Zhao Yun'er wasn't used to the way people wiped their butts here. Even if toilet paper was a little expensive, she still gritted her teeth and bought it. Then what should we do? It's in the house. Young Master Mu, I'll go get it for you, Zhao Yun'er said with a red face. Alright, Miss Yun-er, I'll wait for you. Alright, I'll be back soon. Zhao Yun'er hurriedly ran back. Just as she entered the house, she heard the shouting outside. Zhao Yun'er, you bitch, come out. Chapter 211. Zhao Yun arrived at the door. It was a middle-aged woman with a face full of pockmarks and a very fat body. This kind of woman, such an ugly woman, Zhao Yun had only seen this kind of woman on TV before, and it was made ugly by others. Based on the original owner's memories, if she remembered correctly, this woman should be Lu San's wife, Jianhu. Zhao Yun raised her eyebrows in displeasure and her cold voice sounded, I thought it was a mad dog barking in front of my house. So it's Sister Jianhu. When Jianhu heard Zhao Yun mocking her as a mad dog, she was furious. Who are you calling a mad dog? I didn't say who. Zhao Yun spread her hands and said helplessly, I said I thought it was a mad dog. I didn't say you were a mad dog. Why did Sister Jianhu take it for granted? Speaking of which, Sister Jianhu is so angry. Why are you looking for me? When Zhao Yun said this, Jianhu became even more depraved. Why am I looking for you? Why am I looking for you? You bitch, you only know how to seduce people. Zhao Yun was naturally unhappy to be scolded like this. She vaguely guessed why Jianhu was here. It was probably because they had heard those groundless rumors and thought that she had an improper relationship with Lu San. Naturally, the women in the family couldn't stand their man fooling around with another woman. In the past, Zhao Yun couldn't understand why Lu San was still fooling around outside when he had a wife. Now that she saw Jianhu, she understood that it wasn't without reason. This Jianhu's appearance was really hard to explain. If it was a man, he probably wouldn't be able to do it, right? This kind of woman shouldn't be able to get married. However, Lu San was usually idle and his family's conditions were average. He didn't look that good either. He couldn't marry other women and could only marry Jianhu. Sister Jianhu, speak clearly. Who do you think I'm seducing? Who are you seducing? Do you know everything in your heart? You don't have a man, so you only know how to seduce other men. Are you that lacking in men? Fellow villagers, please judge for me, judge for me. Jianhu's voice was loud to begin with. With her shout, even more people came over to watch the show. Many of them were women who loved to join in the fun. Is there any justice in this world? Zhao Yun'er, that little slut, seduced people, seduced my man. Why is my life so bitter? When Jianhu saw that someone had come, she cried even louder, as if she was sad that her parents had died. Zhao Yun'er's mouth twitched. This woman really knew how to create momentum. With this shout, the whole village came over. She probably wanted to make a scene in front of the entire village so that she wouldn't have the face to be called a slut in the future. Whether it was in ancient times or modern times, cheating and being a mistress was a very shameful thing. There were some rumors about Zhao Yun'er and Lu San in private. With Jianhu making a scene, the matter was completely brought out into the open. Zhao Yun'er knew that Jianhu was doing it on purpose. Sister Jianhu, what you said is wrong. When did I seduce you? I've only seen you a few times, okay? You said that I seduced him, but you have to have evidence, right? Did you see it? Or did anyone else see it? Zhao Yun'er asked back. She wouldn't be so stupid to accept such a big accusation. Chapter 212. Evidence? You little b*tch, do you still need evidence? Ask the people in the village, who doesn't know that you seduced my man? Everyone, tell us, and be the judge. When Jianhu said this, the women who were originally discussing Zhao Yun, and Lu San's matter all started chattering. As the saying goes, 3 people make a tiger. If something that didn't happen was said too much, it would naturally be taken as the truth. Zhao Yun's current situation was like this. Among these women who were discussing, there were many who liked to add insult to injury, hoping that Zhao Yun would make a fool of herself. It wasn't easy for them to find an opportunity, so they naturally did their best to hurt her. What evidence do you need? Everyone knows about it. She thought that no one knew about the stupid things she did. Quibbling. After all, it's a disgraceful thing. How can she admit it so easily? Jianhu is also pitiful. If my man was like this, I would definitely tear that little b*tch's face apart. She has the face of a vixen. She's here to seduce people. These women said one sentence after another. No matter how good Zhao Yun's mentality was, she couldn't help but get angry when she heard it. Of course, she didn't want to be wronged for something she didn't do. More and more people gathered around to join in the fun. In the crowd, a red figure hid at the back. When she heard these women's words, the corners of her mouth couldn't help but curl up. There was a hint of smugness in her eyes. She hid at the back to watch the show, but no one noticed her. She also hid the expression on her face very well. Seeing so many people helping her, Jianhu said to Zhao Yun, proudly, b*tch, listen. So many people have said it, and everyone knows about it. You still need evidence? Everyone, tell us, do you still need evidence? Of course not. Jianhu, why are you talking nonsense with her? Someone jeered. Zhao Yun only felt that these people were funny, especially Jianhua's smug look. Hee, interesting. The so-called evidence is just hearsay. This is what everyone says, so it's true. Then what's the point of having evidence? Spend some money to bribe people, it doesn't matter even if you kill people, as long as everyone says that they didn't kill, isn't it fine? Zhao Yun replied faintly, a pair of cold eyes swept across Jianhua's body. You b*tch, you're still twisting words and forcing logic. Is there anything wrong with what everyone said? So you're saying that everyone is lying and accusing you? That's not it. But since everyone is here, I would like to ask. Zhao Yun faced the woman who was condemning her and raised her voice. Since you all seem to be telling the truth, then let me ask you, who has seen me with Lu San with their own eyes? Did you see it with your own eyes or did you hear it from someone else? Zhao Yun's rhetorical question left all the women present speechless. They had all heard about it. How could they have seen it with their own eyes? I heard it from sister-in-law Mo Mei. Sister-in-law Mo Mei, have you seen it? No, I heard it from sister Lanji. I heard it from big sis Qin. I haven't seen it either. These people discussed for a while, but in the end, they realized that they had all heard about it. No one had really seen it with their own eyes. In the end, it was pushed to Xiao Hong. Chapter 213. Being asked about Xiao Hong was also stunned. She did not expect to be dragged out even though she had been hiding at the back. Everyone's gazes landed on her. Xiao Hong pursed her lips and said, I didn't see it with my own eyes. I heard it from others. Xiao Hong's face was a little stiff. Because she had lied, she kept blinking her eyes. Who did you hear it from? The woman could not help but ask. After all, they had to find the source of this matter. Once they found the source, they would know who had seen it with their own eyes. Being interrogated like this, Xiao Hong panicked and felt very guilty. How could I remember? It's been so many days. I forgot who told me. Xiao Hong's voice was very soft. You can even forget this. Little sister Xiao Hong, your memory is not bad. That's right. You're so young and you can't even remember such a small thing. Now, I wonder who saw it with their own eyes. Who can stand up and say something? These people's words fell into Zhao Yun's ears, including Xiao Hong's reaction. This Xiao Hong had a problem at first glance. It was impossible for rumors to appear out of nowhere. Thinking of the matter of Xiao Hong framing her before, Zhao Yun guessed that this time the rumors were spread by Xiao Hong again. Why was this woman so scheming? She had saved her back then and prevented her from being violated by Lu San. Now, she was actually framing her and Lu San for having an affair. Damn it. Her conscience had been eaten by a dog. These women blabbered on and on. Zhao Yun's cold and sarcastic voice joined in. In that case, everyone only heard about it from hearsay. No one saw it with their own eyes? The women's confidence was clearly not as strong as before. They looked at each other. Without evidence, there was no point in saying anything. They were not fools. Of course, they understood that if no one had seen such a thing, the authenticity of the rumors was still up for debate. Who spread this? Seriously, how could they spread rumors without seeing it with their own eyes? That's right. Now that it's over, what can we say? Xiao Hong, why don't you remember who spread it? If you remember, let's quickly ask. Xiao Hong, think about it. Think carefully. The spearhead was pointed at Xiao Hong again. Xiao Hong was being interrogated. She was the one who spread the rumors. Who else could she point the finger at? What happened to you? I can't remember either. Zhao Yun's lips curled into a sneer. It would be strange if this Xiao Hong remembered. Of course, she would not admit that she had said it. All right, since everyone has heard that it's just a rumor, let's not talk about it anymore. Of course, how did this rumor spread? I think someone did something shameful and wanted to frame me. Even if you want to ruin my reputation, you shouldn't use such a despicable method. If I know who it is, I don't mind revealing what I know. Zhao Yun said this deliberately for Xiao Hong to hear. As expected, Xiao Hong's face instantly turned red. She glanced at Zhao Yun in a panic. Her guilty conscience was exposed. Chapter 214. Jinhua had already determined this rumor in her heart. As the saying goes, there is no smoke without fire. She also knew what kind of person her man was. Zhao Yun was so pretty, so it was possible that Lu San had thoughts of being together with Zhao Yun. In addition, her man had naturally praised Zhao Yun in front of her, so Jinhua remembered it even more. Zhao Yun was young and had no man. It was inevitable that she would have certain needs and seduce her man. Jinhua's aura was aggressive, and Zhao Yun was not so easy to provoke. With such a big pot of sh*t being thrown at her, if she did not retaliate, she would be talked about in the village in the future. What? Sister Jinhua, are you desperate enough to do anything? Who are you calling a dog? Look, you're taking it personally again. I'm talking about a cornered dog jumping over the wall. It's an adjective. I'm not saying that you're a dog. How old is Sister Jinhua this year? Her ears are so bad. Zhao Yun mocked. This made Jinhua's face even redder. B*tch, see if I don't tear your mouth apart. As Jinhua spoke, she waved her hand towards Zhao Yun. Crazy woman. Zhao Yun was too lazy to be polite with Jinhua. The matter had already been made clear. It was fine as long as other people understood. At least they would not continue to talk about this matter. Jinhua's wrist was twisted by Zhao Yun. When Jinhua turned around, Zhao Yun kicked Jinhua's butt again. Thus, Jinhua's fat body flew out and fell heavily on the ground. When everyone saw this, they could not help but exclaim in shock. Wasn't this Zhao Yun a little too powerful? Jianhua was such a fat person, but it was as if it was effortless to kick her. It hurts. Jianhua shouted. Not only was her body in pain, but her chin also hit the ground. It was very painful. There was also a bloody taste in his mouth. You slut, how dare you hit me? You seduced someone else's man and still dared to hit me. Is there any justice in this world? I need to find Li Zheng to be the judge. Jianhua struggled to get up from the ground. Since she couldn't beat Zhao Yuner, she couldn't give up like this. She had to ruin Zhao Yuner's reputation and let the whole village know about her wretched activities. Zhao Yuner lowered her head and looked at the golden flowers. Is it really okay to bite people like this? Firstly, if I hit you, you're the one who rushed over to hit me. I can't just stick my head out and let you hit me, right? Secondly, you made up stories that didn't exist and caused trouble at my door. I haven't settled the score with you yet. Find Li Zheng to be the judge. Okay, I also want Li Zheng to be the judge. You don't even have any evidence, yet you came to my door and beat me up. That's not right, right? Jianhua blinked and was about to retort. Zhao Yuner continued, Big sister Jianhua, also, you have to be more realistic when you bite people. I, Zhao Yuner, don't have a man, but I think I'm pretty good looking. If I really lacked a man, I wouldn't find someone like your family's Lu San. Who doesn't know that Lu San has no ability, idles around, and doesn't look very good? This kind of man, other than you, big sister Jianhua, who treasures him, I want to ask, all the sisters and aunties here, you are also women. If you want to find a man, would you find someone like Lu San? When Zhao Yuner asked this rhetorical question, everyone suddenly felt that what Zhao Yuner said made sense. Chapter 2:15. Just as Zhao Yun said, other than Jianhua, no one would be willing to stay with someone like Lu San. Zhao Yun was pretty, and everyone in the village knew that Lu Lei was interested in Zhao Yun If Zhao Yun was looking for a man, she would look for Lu Lei. How could it be Lu San? Comparing the two of them, even a ghost would know who to choose. It seems that this matter isn't like what the rumors say. Yeah, why did we believe it in the past? Now that we think about it, isn't it too ridiculous? Zhao Yun isn't blind. Then someone must have deliberately spread it to ruin Zhao Yun's reputation. Who would be so ruthless to spread this? The women gathered together. After thinking about it, they began to suspect Xiao Hong. She was the only one who said that she didn't remember who spread it, but everyone heard it from her, so the possibility of her spreading it was very high. Seeing that these people were looking at her suspiciously, Xiao Hong quickly waved her hand and pretended to be pitiful. It wasn't me, it really wasn't me. I just can't remember who spread it. That's hard to say. Why would I spread this? I have no grudge against Sister Yun Why would I harm her? Maybe you're jealous. Xiao Hong, everyone knows that you like Lu Lei, but Lu Lei doesn't like you. He likes Zhao Yun Then it's really possible that Xiao Hong is the culprit. She's the only one. Who else would spread it? Although there was no evidence to prove that Xiao Hong was the one who spread it, these women roughly understood in their hearts. They didn't expect that Xiao Hong, who looked so innocent and harmless, would do such a thing. These women didn't scold Xiao Hong on the surface, but Xiao Hong couldn't stand their gazes. She ran out of the crowd. The corners of her eyes were red, and a few drops of tears hung down. Zhao Yun naturally saw Xiao Hong's back as she ran out. Zhao Yuner did not want to comment on this woman. She only wanted to say that she deserved it. When Jianhua saw that everyone was no longer protecting her, she began to believe in Zhao Yuner. His initial excitement and confidence to rush over instantly disappeared. She couldn't beat him in a fight, and she couldn't reason with him either. Jianhua was caught between a rock and a hard place. Just as he was thinking about how to leave, a woman in her 40s or 50s came out to mediate. Alright, Jinhua, since this is a misunderstanding, let's forget about it. That's right, Jinhua. Someone is deliberately provoking you and using you as a tool. Look, you're suffering, aren't you? Let's go, let's go. Don't make a scene. It's not good for a village to make a scene. This gave Jinhua a platform, and Jinhua took the opportunity to step down. She said to Zhao Yuner, today's matter is a misunderstanding. I'll leave first. But don't try to seduce my man in the future. Otherwise, I'll make you suffer. Zhao Yuner only felt that it was hilarious. How could there be such a tyrannical and unreasonable person? Wait! Zhao Yuner shouted. Jinhua paused in her steps and turned around to ask Zhao Yuner. What do you want now? Chapter 216. Apologize? Why do I have to apologize? Jinhua started to make a fuss. Although she had wronged Zhao Yuner, it didn't mean that she really thought she was wrong. Apologizing to Zhao Yuner in front of so many people was really embarrassing. She came here so aggressively today, but the ending was like this. She reckoned that many people would laugh behind her back, right? Of course I have to apologize if I did something wrong. Zhao Yuner. You. Don't push your luck. Who do you think you are? Jinhua glared at Zhao Yuner. Obviously, she was very angry with Zhao Yuner. Big sister Jinhua, if you don't even want to reason with me, I don't mind using force. Zhao Yuner put her hands on her waist and looked arrogant. Her aura completely crushed Jinhua. Jinhua was scared by Zhao Yuner. No one was helping her. She couldn't beat Zhao Yuner. Other than apologizing, she could only get beaten up. Wouldn't it be even more embarrassing if she went back with a bruised face? Jinhua was unhappy, but she still lowered her head and admitted her mistake. Okay, I was wrong, okay? Can we go now? Jinhua said. Her apology wasn't sincere. Zhao Yun couldn't be bothered to care so much. She reminded Jinhua, you better watch your man. Don't let him fool around and say that someone seduced him. Zhao Yun hinted that Lu San was flirting with other women. Jinhua bit her lower lip and left in a huff. If she could keep an eye on her own man, would she still need to pick on Zhao Yun? After Jinhua left, the people who had come to watch the show also dispersed. The noisy front yard suddenly quieted down. Zhao Yun breathed a sigh of relief. Actually, Jinhua's ruckus was a good thing for her. If she were to personally explain to them one by one, no one would believe her. They would even think that there was something shady going on between her and Lu San. Now that he had made it clear to them, they were clear as well. Among them, someone had framed Zhao Yuner. It was not as the rumor said. Zhao Yuner smirked and turned to enter the house. Quarreling was also a waste of energy. After the quarrel, Zhao Yuner suddenly felt weak. He wanted to sit down and rest. As soon as her butt landed on the stool, Zhao Yuner suddenly remembered that she had left Mu Lianfeng alone in the latrine for a long time. Not only did Jinhua come over and cause a ruckus, but she also forgot about this matter. Zhao Yuner hurriedly got up, jumped from the stool, and rushed to the latrine. When she went over, Mu Lianfeng had already straightened his body and was pulling up his pants. Zhao Yuner's mind went blank for a moment. When Mu Lianfeng saw Zhao Yuner arrive, he was also a little embarrassed. Young Master Mu, you didn't clean up your mess? Zhao Yuner felt a strong sense of guilt in her heart. She had delayed for so long. He was probably very uncomfortable waiting in the latrine, right? Seeing Mu Lianfeng's face turn red, Zhao Yuner hurriedly explained why she didn't come. She didn't want to be misunderstood by Mu Lianfeng. Young Master Mu. Mu Lianfeng's lips curled into a smile. Miss Yuner, it's fine. Mu Lianfeng could see Zhao Yuner's guilt. I saw that you prepared a wooden stick in the latrine, so I tried to use it. Since you can use it, I can use it too. Chapter 217. She blinked her eyes, unable to digest so much information. The toilet paper in her hands suddenly felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. Mu Lianfeng was such a noble person. It was probably the first time he used such a wooden stick to wipe his butt. Not to mention that Mu Lianfeng was used to living like a prince for a long time. Even Zhao Yun, who was very adaptable, was not used to wiping her butt with a wooden stick. In the end, she made Mu Lianfeng wait for a long time. Mu Lianfeng had no choice but to use a wooden stick. Otherwise, not to mention the stench in the latrine, his injured foot would not be able to hold on for long. Now that Mu Lianfeng said this to her, he was probably comforting her and did not want her to feel too guilty. Young Master Mu. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to forget, but someone came to my house to cause trouble just now. Zhao Yun began to explain, stuttering a little. The faint smile on Mu Lianfeng's lips was like a spring breeze, giving people a very fresh and comfortable feeling. It's okay, Miss Yun, I know, Mu Lianfeng said. His voice was soft with a hint of magnetic hoarseness. It was very pleasant to hear. The latrine was not far from Zhao Yun's house. Those people's voices were so loud just now, so Mu Lianfeng could roughly hear them. Seeing that those people slowly stopped making noise, Mu Lianfeng's foot really could not hold on anymore. Only then did he find a wooden stick and wipe it. Young Master Mu, do you still want this toilet paper? Zhao Yun handed the toilet paper over. No, I'll use it next time. Okay. Okay, then, Miss Yun, send me back. Oh, okay. Zhao Yun hurried over and helped Mu Lianfeng. The two of them hugged each other. Perhaps Mu Lianfeng had stayed in the latrine pit for too long. His body also carried the faint smell of the latrine pit. Mu Lianfeng was injured and could not bathe. This smell probably wouldn't go away in a short time. The guilt in Zhao Yun's heart deepened. Sigh, it's all her fault. If Jianhu hadn't come over, Mu Lianfeng wouldn't have to be like this. Zhao Yun helped Mu Lianfeng back and let him lie on the bed to recuperate. She sat down and quietly began to make clothes for Daodu. Not long after he sat down, footsteps came from outside the house again. It was Lu Lei. Zhao Yun was afraid that Lu Lei would rush in and see Mu Lianfeng, so she quickly went out of the house. Lei. Brother Lei Zi, why are you here? Zhao Yun asked with a smile. Lu Lei frowned, his eyes full of worry. He asked Zhao Yun with concern, Yun, I heard that Jianhu came to cause trouble for you. Are you okay? Why is there no one? She left after playing around. I'm fine now. Brother Lei Zi, sorry for making you worry. When Lu Lei heard Zhao Yun say this, he sighed in relief. That's good. Yun, you're not injured, are you? Jianhu was also very fierce in the village and had fought with many women. Therefore, Lu Lei was afraid that Jianhu had hurt Zhao Yun as well. I'm fine. Brother Lei Zi, look at me. Am I not fine? That's good. Yun, it's good that you're not injured. I just heard about it. They all misunderstood you. Naturally, you're not that kind of person. Lu Lei said. Lu Lei had also heard about the rumors between Zhao Yun and Lu San. However, when others mentioned it to him, he scolded them. Chapter 218. Even if everyone in the world doubted Zhao Yun, he would never doubt Zhao Yun. If he liked someone, he would naturally trust her unconditionally. Seeing that this matter was resolved, Lu Lei breathed a sigh of relief for Zhao Yun. He didn't like others pointing fingers at Zhao Yun behind her back. Zhao Yun pulled a smile from the corner of her mouth. They are just making groundless accusations. They like to listen to hearsay and spread rumors. Since it's fake, there will always be loopholes. There will also be a day when the truth will come out. I didn't do it, so I'm not afraid. Zhao Yun's eyes were filled with stubbornness. This kind of gaze was exactly what Lu Lei had never seen in the eyes of other women. This kind of Zhao Yuner was even more attractive to him. Yuner, then you're fine. I'll go back first. Is there anything else you need my help with? If there's anything you need my help with, I'll leave after I'm done, okay? Lu Lei asked. It wasn't good for him to stay at Zhao Yuner's house for too long. Since others could spread the news about Zhao Yuner and Lu San, it was possible that the news about him and Zhao Yuner could also spread. Lu Lei didn't want Zhao Yuner to suffer any rumors about the matter that had just calmed down. It's okay, Brother Lei. There's nothing I need help with. Then I'll go back. Be careful on the road. Zhao Yuner reminded him. Lu Lei looked at Zhao Yuner reluctantly, then turned around and left. Zhao Yuner looked at Lu Lei's back and sighed. She knew that Lu Lei had probably rushed over after hearing about her situation. He didn't stay for long, but he wanted to leave. She didn't urge him to stay at all. Zhao Yuner still had a guilty conscience. She was afraid that Lu Lei would stay for one more second. If he accidentally entered her house and saw Mu Lianfeng, she really couldn't explain it clearly. During this period of time, Mu Lianfeng was also a troublesome matter. It would be best if she took Mu Lianfeng to the toilet when no one was around. Otherwise, he wouldn't know if there would be rumors. As soon as Zhao Yuner entered, she saw Mu Lianfeng craning his neck to look outside. Mu. Young Master Mu, what's wrong with you? Zhao Yuner asked. It's nothing. I've been lying down for too long. My neck is a little uncomfortable. Mu Lianfeng said, but because he was lying, he didn't have enough confidence. She didn't dare to look at Zhao Yuner. Young Master Mu, why don't I give you a massage? It might be better if you pinch it a little, Zhao Yun said. Wouldn't that be too much trouble for Miss Yuner? It's okay. As Zhao Yuner spoke, she sat down by the edge of the bed. Her slender fingers rested on Mu Lianfeng's neck and began to massage it. In the past, she often served her parents at home and massaged them from time to time. So her skills were not bad. Zhao Yun didn't think too much about it. When her hand rested on Mu Lianfeng's neck, Mu Lianfeng's body trembled. The contact between their bodies made Mu Lianfeng's mind go blank for a moment. Miss Yuner. Mu Lianfeng called out softly. What's wrong? Young Master Mu, is it uncomfortable for you? Did I use too much strength or too little? Mu Lianfeng was silent for a moment and shook his head. Other than this strange feeling, Mu Lianfeng still felt that Zhao Yuner's massage was very comfortable. Chapter 219. Mu Lianfeng didn't know how he could have such thoughts when facing Zhao Yuner. Miss Yuner, who were you talking to just now? Mu Lianfeng asked casually. A friend of mine. I think it's a man. Yes. He cares about you very much, Mu Lianfeng murmured. His chest suddenly felt heavy, and he felt very uncomfortable. Zhao Yuner didn't understand why Mu Lianfeng suddenly said this. She felt that Mu Lianfeng was a little strange. Zhao Yuner didn't want to continue with Lu Lei's question. She probably wouldn't be with Lu Lei, so she naturally didn't want to talk about anything. Most importantly, in front of Mu Lianfeng, Zhao Yuner didn't want to talk about other men. Zhao Yuner massaged Mu Lianfeng while thinking about things. She didn't hear Mu Lianfeng calling her a few times. Mu Lianfeng thought that something had happened to Zhao Yuner. When he turned around, their faces were suddenly very close. They could even feel each other's breath. Zhao Yuner's mind went blank for a moment, and she jumped away. Young Master Mu Lianfeng's cheeks were also flushed. I'm sorry, Miss Yuner. I called you just now. When I saw that you didn't reply, I turned around. It's okay. Zhao Yuner forced a smile and replied. I'm going to make clothes for Daodu. Okay. Zhao Yuner moved away and sat down on the chair to make clothes for Daodu. If she didn't find something to do, it would be very awkward to face Mu Lianfeng like this. Zhao Yuner followed Auntie Lu's instructions and began to cut and mend the clothes. It was her first time doing something like this, and Zhao Yuner had a poor foundation in needlework, so it was not easy. However, she had plenty of time, so she was not in a hurry. Hiss, the needle accidentally pierced her finger, and Zhao Yuner sucked in a breath of air in pain. Miss Yuner, what's wrong? Mu Lianfeng looked at her with concern. I'm fine. I was just accidentally pricked by a needle, Zhao Yun said. Let me see. Mu Lianfeng groped his way out of bed and hopped over to Zhao Yuner. He picked up Zhao Yuner's hand and looked at it. Mu Lianfeng's actions were so sudden that Zhao Yuner couldn't react in time. Her injured hand was in Mu Lianfeng's hand. Looking at Zhao Yuner's bleeding finger, Mu Lianfeng put it into his mouth. Zhao Yuner was in a daze for a while. When her finger entered Mu Lianfeng's mouth, the pain was not so severe. Instead, she felt very comfortable. However, for someone of Mu Lianfeng's status, to treat a country girl like her like this, wasn't it a bit strange? It was too good. Mu Lianfeng's actions were just subconscious and he didn't think too much about it. When he saw his aunt cut her finger when she broke something, his uncle also helped his aunt suck the blood. Miss Yuner, it's done. Mu Lianfeng let go of Zhao Yuner's hand and saw that the blood had stopped. When he looked up, Mu Lianfeng met Zhao Yuner's surprised eyes. After the two of them looked at each other for a few seconds, the atmosphere seemed a bit ambiguous. Zhao Yun hurriedly moved her face away and turned her head away. Thank you, you're welcome. Miss Yuner, be careful. Don't prick yourself again. Mu Lianfeng's eyes flashed with a trace of distress. He reminded Zhao Yuner and lay back on the bed. Chapter 220. The atmosphere didn't improve until Daodu came back. The two children carried a wooden bucket in their hands, but there were fewer bullfrogs today. Zhao Yun didn't mind. If Lu Shan went to other places to buy bullfrogs in the future, he would definitely be able to get a lot. The ones caught by the children were only a small part of the total. Zhao Yun didn't ask, but Daodu explained, Mother, we caught fewer bullfrogs today. It's okay. Zhao Yun patted Daodu's head. Mother, everyone helped us catch bullfrogs today. Daodu's mother also didn't let him play with me. They all said that their families didn't allow it. Daodu's mood fell. Children like to be lively and like to play with other children. Previously, the children in the village all distanced themselves from Daodu. It wasn't easy for them to play with Daodu because of the bullfrogs. Now that things had changed, Daodu couldn't help but feel a little sad. Looking at Daodu's pitiful appearance, Zhao Yun comforted him. She guessed that it was probably because Daodu fell into the mud pit. Qin Hailan didn't say anything when she came over. She was afraid that Daodu would have an accident again, so she didn't let Daodu play with Daodu. She just didn't know if Daodu said anything about the bullfrogs. As for the other children, Zhao Yun guessed that Qin Hailan said something behind their backs, so the other children's parents didn't let their children interact with Daodu. Sigh, touching Daodu's little face, Zhao Yun felt a little distressed. No matter how good she was to Daodu, Daodu was still a child. He liked to play with other children. Okay, Daodu, don't be sad. Even if they don't catch bullfrogs with you, there's still little uncle to accompany you, right? There are still San Air and the others. Although there are fewer people, it's not to the extent that there won't be anyone left. Don't you agree? When Daodu is a few years older, Mother will send Daodu to school. This way, Daodu can play with many little friends and also learn knowledge. Zhao Yun said. Daodu raised his head and looked at Zhao Yuner. Mother, what is a school? It's where I go to school. There will be many children around the same age as Daodu. What are you going to school for? Going to school is to learn knowledge. Yes, just like your eldest uncle. In the future, after you study and pass the exam, you can become successful and bring your mother to live a good life. Yes. Daodu nodded heavily. Especially when he heard Zhao Yuner say that he could become successful and bring Zhao Yuner to live a good life. Dao De was even more determined to study hard when he went to school in the future. At the mention of Dao De going to school, Zhao Yuner looked at Zhao Tianfu. Zhao Tianfu was 8 years old and had reached the age of going to school. However, old Zhao's family clearly had no intention of letting Zhao Tianfu go to school. Zhao Tianan was 16 or 17 years old. It was obviously a bit late for him to go to school at this age. However, Zhao Tianfu could. However, in this era, the cost of going to school was very expensive. The average family simply couldn't afford it. In addition, old Zhao's family still had Zhao Tianlong who was studying, so the annual expenses were not small. If Zhao Tianfu wanted to go to school, the children of the other branches of old Zhao's family would definitely clamor to go to school as well. The third branch wasn't liked in old Zhao's family to begin with. It seemed a bit difficult, but Zhao Yuner still wanted to fight for Zhao Tianfu. Chapter 221. She didn't ask for the money, but that didn't mean she would let it go. The original owner's life was like this, and old Zhao's family had to account for it. Tianfu, do you want to study? Zhao Yuner asked. Before talking about this, it was best to ask Zhao Tianfu for his thoughts. Zhao Tianfu had to be willing to study. Although Zhao Tianfu was young, he knew the benefits of studying. Studying could make him successful, and he could lead his family to live a good life. They wouldn't be bullied, so he naturally wanted to study. Second sister, studying is too expensive. I miss Grandpa, but he won't let me study. Zhao Tianfu said. Zhao Yuner saw that Zhao Tianfu wanted to study, so it was easy. He knew that studying was hard, and when he went to school in the future, he wouldn't not study hard. It's okay. Leave this to me. Second sister will talk to father and grandpa. They will probably let you study then. Zhao Tianfu's eyes lit up, and he looked forward to it. Second sister, is that true? Of course it's true. Then second sister, can brother Tianan still study? Zhao Tianfu looked up and asked. Your brother Tianan probably can't. He's almost at the age of marrying a wife. But when you learn more, you can read. You can teach your brother Tianan how to read. Even if he wasn't very educated, he wouldn't be illiterate if he could read. Whether it was ancient or modern, it was much more convenient to read. People in ancient times were poor, so there weren't many who could study. That was why there were so many illiterates. Okay, second sister. I will teach brother Tianan everything I know in the future. Okay. Dinner was heated up, and Zhao Yuner added a plate of vegetables. It wasn't bad. After dinner, Zhao Yuner sent Zhao Tianfu back. At the same time, they discussed the matter of Zhao Tianfu going to school. Old Zhao's family was eating dinner in the courtyard. Everyone gathered around a table. The table wasn't big, so basically, only the adults were sitting. The children were standing at the side with bowls. Or they picked up their own food and sat on a stool at the side to eat. After Zhao Wenxing left, the food in old Zhao's house returned to being bland. The man who had been working hard all day was still able to eat. After all, no matter how disgusting it was, they still had to eat it. If they didn't eat it, they would be starving. Zhao Yuner is here again. Li Chuiying shouted as soon as he saw Zhao Yuner. Old Zhao's family members all looked at Zhao Yuner. Now, in order to prevent Zhao Yuner from coming back, old Zhao's family had sent Zhao Yuner away. As soon as Wu Chunhua heard that Zhao Yuner was here, her face immediately turned green. He thought to himself, how could this little B***tch have the nerve to come here? Don't you have any shame? As soon as Zhao Yuner arrived at the yard, Wu Chunhua scolded her angrily, we've already separated you. What are you doing here? Hurry up and get out of here. Wu Chunhua's eyes revealed undisguised disgust. She couldn't wait for Zhao Yuner to disappear in front of her immediately. The corner of Zhao Yuner's mouth raised into a smile as she replied. Grandma, you can't say that. Although I've separated from my family, my parents haven't. They are also part of old Zhao's family, so they have a share of this house. I'm not here to look for you. I'm here to look for my parents. Can't I even see my parents? Chapter 222. Since ancient times, other than parents who did not acknowledge their daughters, there was no other reason why parents would not allow their daughters to return home. When Zhao Yun said this, Hu Chunhua was so angry that her face turned green. She knew that Zhao Yun, this wretched girl, was not so easy to get rid of. Even if they had separated, she would still come over to make trouble. This little B***tch, why did she have so many ideas? Hu Chunhua was about to say something, but Zhao Baoshan said, "That's enough, old woman. If Yun wants to come back, so be it. We're family. Why are you treating her like an outsider? Old man, why are you siding with that wretched girl?" Hu Chunhua was a little confused. Old Zhao had so many girls, but he did not treat the other granddaughters well. Why did he treat Zhao Yun so differently? You're too petty. Yun is not in your way. Why don't you let her come back? I get annoyed when I see her. This B***tch who disgraces our old Zhao family should get lost far away, so as not to ruin our reputation. Zhao Yun was a little speechless. Wasn't Hu Chunhua's hatred for her too much? In the 21st century, she had never seen a grandmother treat her own granddaughter like this. All right. Don't talk about this nonsense. Yun must have something to do with old third and the others. Since she has something to do, why are you stopping her? You're so petty over such a small matter. Don't spread word that you're too petty. Zhao Baoshan nagged. Who's petty? Hu Chunhua muttered, but she was really a little afraid that others would say that she was petty. After all, the villagers like to scold stingy and petty people. Basically, it was easier for generous and simple families to find a wife and marry off their daughters. Seeing that Hu Chunhua was silent, Zhao Yun curled her lips. Even so, she would not be grateful to Zhao Baoshan for speaking up for her. If it weren't for him, she wouldn't have been hated by old Zhao's family. Zhao Yun'er walked up to Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Wenhua and said to Liang Jinxiao, "Father, mother, let's talk inside." All right. Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Wenhua nodded, although they didn't know what Zhao Yun wanted to do. When they arrived at the third branch's house, Zhao Yun told Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Wenhua about sending Zhao Tianfu to school. "Yun'er, although your father and I also want to study for Tianfu, the school fees are still too expensive." "I won't do it," Liang Jinxiao sighed. Zhao Wenhua didn't say anything. He lowered his head and didn't say anything. "Mother, if we don't talk about it, how will grandfather agree?" "Sigh, Yun'er, you don't know. Today's harvest wasn't good. It's not easy to eat every day, let alone send Tianfu to school. Besides, your eldest cousin brother is still studying. It's not easy for old Zhao's family to support him every year. If we send Tianfu to school, our lives will probably be even tighter." Liang Jinxiao was also very helpless. It wasn't that she didn't know about old Zhao's family situation. Based on her understanding, even if she said it, it would be useless. Instead, it might provoke Hu Chunhua's curses. Zhao Yun'er understood Hu Chunhua's meaning. They just didn't have money. If they had money, everything would be solved. "Mother, if you don't want to say it, I'll say it. I'll tell grandfather," Zhao Yun'er said. Chapter 223. Zhao Yun did not like Liang Jinxiao's dilly-dallying personality. If he had too many concerns, he would be afraid of doing anything. Although he said that he wanted to study for Zhao Tianfu, he did not do much. Just as Zhao Yun was about to say something, Zhao Wenhua interrupted, "Yun, our family is poor. If your grandfather really agrees to let Tianfu study, won't your second aunt and the others also work hard? Tianyu is almost at the age of going to school, right? Zhao Yun glanced at Zhao Wenhua. If it was someone else who said this, it would be fine. However, when it came from Zhao Wenhua's mouth, Zhao Yun felt that it was a little ironic. Father, what you said is wrong. Why doesn't anyone work hard for eldest cousin's studies? Can't I study for whomever I want? Don't say that we don't have money. The 200 taels of silver that you sold me back then shouldn't have been spent so quickly in just 3 years, right? Zhao Yun's tone carried a hint of blame. She said it out loud because she wanted Zhao Wenhua to be clear about it. She wanted to know if Zhao Wenhua's conscience hurt when she did this back then. After Zhao Yun said this, Zhao Wenhua was obviously stunned. She looked at Zhao Yun in surprise and did not understand how Zhao Yun knew. Liang Jinxiao looked at Zhao Yun in confusion and then looked at Zhao Wenhua. Yun what do you mean by that? What do you mean by selling you for 200 taels of silver? Zhao Yun pursed her lips. It was better not to tell Liang Jinxiao the truth. Mother, it's nothing. Zhao Wenhua sighed and did not dare to look Liang Jinxiao in the eye. When she faced Zhao Yun, she felt even more guilty and guilty. Of course, Liang Jinxiao didn't believe it. However, seeing that Zhao Yun and Zhao Wenhua didn't intend to say anything, it was difficult for her to ask. There's still money, but it's all with your grandfather. Zhao Tianhua whispered. Then I'll go and tell master. Zhao Yun stood up. She didn't want to be long-winded with Zhao Wenhua. According to them, it was probably not appropriate to ask Zhao Baoshan. Since that was the case, it would be fine for her to go and tell him. Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Wenhua looked at each other and had no choice but to let Zhao Yun go. Zhao Yun went out of the third room and found Zhao Baoshan. Naturally, Zhao Tianfu wouldn't talk about his studies in front of the whole family. Instead, he would talk to Zhao Baoshan alone. Otherwise, who knew what would happen if the people in the other branches heard it? Zhao Yun didn't beat around the bush and directly said it. After Zhao Baoshan finished listening, he was silent for a moment. There was still some money left after selling Zhao Yun's 200 taels. Zhao Baoshan didn't tell Hu Chunhua about this money. Instead, he held it in his hands. If there was any urgent need in the future, he could take out the money himself. All right then. Yun'er, I'll discuss this matter with your grandmother. Otherwise, your grandmother will make a fuss. Zhao Baoshan said in a deep voice. It wasn't that Zhao Baoshan didn't agree. It was just that sending Zhao Tianfu to school would probably use the family's money. The 200 taels from selling her would still be in Zhao Baoshan's hands. No matter how Zhao Baoshan did it, it was fine as long as Zhao Tianfu could study. Zhao Yun naturally wouldn't ask for so much. All right, master, then it's settled. If there's a chance in a few days, I'll help Tianfu enroll. Chapter 224. This was also one of the reasons why Zhao Baoshan agreed so quickly. Originally, they spent 3 to 4 taels of silver a year. Now, it was reduced by half to 1 or 2 taels. No matter how frugal the family was, they could still save. Back then, when they supported Zhao Tianxing and Zhao Tianlong at the same time, they could afford the tuition fees for both of them. Of course, this was under the condition that there were no accidents. Back then, there was a drought, and the grain harvest was too poor. Zhao Tianlong could not afford the tuition fees, so he sold Zhao Yun for 200 taels. All right, master, then I'll take my leave. Zhao Yun said goodbye. She did not want to stay at old Zhao's house for too long. Before leaving, Zhao Yun said something to Zhao Wensheng and Liang Jinxiao. Father, mother, master agreed. In a few days, we can bring Tianfu to school. Your master agreed? Liang Jinxiao was a little surprised. Zhao Yun did not spend much time talking. How could she convince Zhao Baoshan so quickly? Zhao Baoshan was not so easy to talk to. Yes. Zhao Yun responded. She greeted Zhao Tianfu and patted his head. Tianfu, are you happy? I'm happy. Second sister, thank you. Zhao Tianfu also knew that this opportunity was fought for by Zhao Yun. You're welcome. Just study hard in the future. Don't let second sister down. Second sister, don't worry. I'll definitely work hard. That's good. Second sister will leave now. Yes, yes. Zhao Yun said goodbye to Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Wenhua and left old Zhao's house. As for what would happen if old Zhao's family decided to let Zhao Baoshan study for Zhao Tianfu, she did not care. As long as Zhao Baoshan did not regret it in the end. Zhao Yun'er returned home and opened the door. The candles were already lit inside. Mu Lianfeng was not lying on the ground, but sitting on a stool. Together with Daodu, one big and one small figure lay in front of the table. Zhao Yun couldn't help but be curious. What were these two people doing? However, under the candlelight, the two voices sounded particularly warm. Hearing the sound of Zhao Yun'er pushing the door open, the two of them turned their heads and looked at Zhao Yun'er. The reactions of the adult and the child were very similar. They really looked like father and son. When Zhao Yun'er saw it, she was slightly stunned. The thoughts in his mind were too nonsensical. Mother, you're back? Daodu smiled sweetly at Zhao Yun'er, looking very happy. Miss Yun'er. Mu Lianfeng also looked at Zhao Yun'er. In the candlelight, Mu Lianfeng's face looked even more handsome, angular, and a pair of phoenix eyes with a charming charm. He was simply a demon. Zhao Yun'er quickly moved her gaze away, not looking at Mu Lianfeng's face. Otherwise, she was really afraid that she would be immersed in it. With a faint smile on her lips, Zhao Yun'er asked Daodu softly, "What are you doing?" Daodu raised his cute little face and said to Zhao Yun'er, "Mother, Uncle Feng is teaching Daodu how to read." Read? Zhao Yun'er was surprised for a moment. She looked deeply at Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng faced her, still with a smile on his face. Yes, Uncle Feng said that although Daodu is still young and can't go to school, Uncle Feng can teach Daodu to read at home. Daodu explained in a childish voice. Chapter 225. And Mu Lianfeng was willing to teach him. Zhao Yun had an indescribable feeling in her heart. The more she thought about it, the more she felt that Mu Lianfeng played an indispensable role in front of Daodu. In the end, the child still needed a father, so that he could have a complete family. Then what did your Uncle Feng teach you? Mother, Uncle Feng taught Daodu how to write his name. Speaking of this, Daodu was a little excited to show off to Zhao Yun'er. Then Daodu knows how to write? Daodu nodded heavily, then walked in front of Zhao Yun'er, pulled her hand, and said, "Mother, come here, Daodu will write for you." Okay. Zhao Yun had a faint smile on her face. She watched as Daodu dipped his little finger in the water in the cup, then wrote Zhao Daodu on the table. Although Daodu's handwriting was not very good, it was neat and legible, so it was not bad. After all, Daodu was only 3 years old. In the 21st century, most people would probably play with toys at home, and only a few would start learning to read. This method of writing on the table with water was probably Mu Lianfeng's idea. They did not have a pen and paper at home, so they could only make do like this. After dipping his finger in water and writing on the table, the water did not dry up so quickly, so the words could be seen very clearly. This method of writing was practical and economical. In this era, the price of paper was still relatively expensive, and the average person would find it difficult to afford. Therefore, the scholars of this era, in addition to their school fees, also spent a lot of money on ink, paper, and inkstone. Mother, did you see it? How is Daodu's writing? Zhao Yun nodded and praised, "Daodu is great." Daodu smiled shyly and said to Mu Lianfeng, "Uncle Feng, do you think Daodu is right?" Yes, Daodu is very smart. Mu Lianfeng patted Daodu's head and praised him. Daodu's smile widened. Seeing the smile on Daodu's face, Zhao Yun'er fell into deep thought. Zhao Yun'er realized that Dao was very happy when he was with Mu Lianfeng. This kind of happiness was different from when he was with her. Perhaps it was Dao's special feelings for Mu Lianfeng. No wonder Dao recognized Mu Lianfeng as his father. Uncle Feng, can you teach Dao how to read again? Dao asked in a soft voice. Mu Lianfeng looked at Zhao Yun'er, as if asking for Zhao Yun'er's permission. Dao, you can't eat a mouthful and become fat. Your Uncle Feng taught you how to write a name today, that's enough. Go back and practice well, and let your Uncle Feng teach you again tomorrow. Mother will buy you some books, paper, and pen tomorrow, what do you think? Zhao Yun'er was afraid that Dao would delay Mu Lianfeng's rest. The sky was dark, and it was time to sleep. Moreover, learning was something that accumulated over a long period of time. Dao was so enthusiastic at the beginning, if he overdid it, he might lose interest later on. Dao thought for a moment, and nodded obediently. Okay, mother, then Dao will let Uncle Feng teach him again tomorrow. Dao is good. Zhao Yun'er smiled. Mother, does Dao want to take a bath tonight? My body is a little itchy. Of course you can. Wait for mother will boil some water for you. Okay. Dao smiled sweetly. Chapter 226. Dao's head rested on Mu Lianfeng's uninjured arm. Dao's small body was like a doll in Mu Lianfeng's arms. Dao, come and take a bath. Zhao Yun'er beckoned. Dao reluctantly got up from Mu Lianfeng's arms. Mother, when can Dao bathe by himself? Dao asked. Zhao Yun was amused by Dao's mischievous look. You're only 3 years old. You'll have to wait until you're 6 at the very least. Oh, mother. Then will Dao be a man when he's 6? Dao's soft voice asked. Yes, you can say that. When the time comes, Dao will be able to do a lot of things by himself. Yes, yes. Dao nodded heavily. Then Dao will eat more in the future. When he grows up, he'll become a man sooner. The smile on Zhao Yun'er's lips became thicker. This child is really a bit cute. Age and food intake were not directly proportional. Time was something that no one could control. However, Dao was still a little too skinny. He had put on some weight recently, but he still had to continue. Children who were malnourished when they were young were still quite affected. Take your time. There's no rush. No, mother. When Dao grows up and becomes a man, he'll be able to protect mother. Uncle Feng said that if he's a man, he'll have to protect the people he loves. Zhao Yun was stunned. She looked at Mu Lianfeng. This guy, what did he say to Dao? Mother, Dao will protect you well in the future. I won't let you be bullied. Dao vowed. Okay, then I'll wait for Dao to grow up and protect mother. Okay. Zhao Yun'er bathed Dao with warm water and wanted to take a bath herself. In the 21st century, she bathed every day. After all, there was a water heater, so bathing was very convenient. Although he couldn't bathe every day here, he could still occasionally wipe his body with hot water. Now that Mu Lianfeng was in her house, she couldn't even wipe her body casually. After all, Mu Lianfeng was a man. She only had one room in her house, so she couldn't go anywhere else. She couldn't possibly take a bath and wipe her body in front of Mu Lianfeng, right? Zhao Yun'er felt a little helpless. She endured the discomfort in her body and could only give up. What troubled Zhao Yun'er was how to sleep at night. Previously, Mu Lianfeng was still in a coma. But now, he was no longer in a coma. It was extremely awkward for them to sleep together. Miss Yun'er, why are you sitting on the stool? Aren't you going to rest in bed? It's already very late. You've been tired all day. You must be sleepy, right? Mu Lianfeng greeted Zhao Yun'er with concern in his eyes. That, young Master Mu, don't worry about me. You go to sleep first. Zhao Yun'er pulled a smile from the corner of her mouth. She would wait for Mu Lianfeng to fall asleep and then climb up to sleep. That way, it wouldn't be awkward. But Miss Yuner, why are you sitting on the stool? If you can't sleep, why don't I chat with you? Mu Lianfeng asked with concern. The corner of Zhao Yuner's mouth twitched slightly. Chat, what could they chat about? Moreover, she was waiting for Mu Lianfeng to fall asleep. If they chatted, would they have to wait until late at night? Chapter 227. As she spoke, Zhao Yun had already taken out the clothes. Under the candlelight, she began to sew. Mu Lianfeng leaned on the bed. Although he responded, he still stared at Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun lowered her head to sew Daodu's clothes. She did not notice that a burning gaze had been falling on her. Under the candlelight, Zhao Yun's small face was even more exquisite. A strand of long hair fell on her forehead, which made her look even more charming. In Mu Lianfeng's eyes, the way Zhao Yun sewed the clothes seriously was particularly charming. This woman was not a beauty that could cause the downfall of a country, but people could not help but be attracted to her. Mu Lianfeng felt that he was possessed. Why did he have feelings for such a woman? Obviously, he was not very interested in women. After some time, Zhao Yun felt that the room had been quiet for a while. She thought that Mu Lianfeng had fallen asleep. But when she looked up, she met Mu Lianfeng's eyes. He looked very energetic. Zhao Yun could not describe her feelings for a moment. Why was he not asleep yet? Then wouldn't she have waited for so long in vain? Young Master Mu, you haven't slept yet? Zhao Yun twitched the corner of her mouth and asked. I'm not sleepy yet. I'm waiting for Miss Yun to sleep with you. Didn't she say that she didn't want him to wait? Zhao Yun gave up the idea of waiting for Mu Lianfeng to fall asleep before going to sleep. Forget it, she still had to bite the bullet and squeeze into the same bed as Mu Lianfeng to sleep. Then let's sleep together. Zhao Yun said. Okay. At night, Zhao Yun slept in the corner of the bed with Daodu as before. Fortunately, Mu Lianfeng did not say anything. Perhaps because she was too sleepy, Zhao Yun quickly fell asleep without the awkwardness she had imagined. The next day, when she woke up, Zhao Yun rubbed her sleepy eyes. She was actually lying in Mu Lianfeng's arms. Mu Lianfeng's uninjured hand rested on her back. The two of them were in an unusually intimate position. Zhao Yun blinked and pinched her own hand. Was she dreaming? The pain in her hand made her realize that she wasn't dreaming. It was reality. Zhao Yun immediately bounced away. He touched the clothes on his body to make sure that he was wearing them properly and that nothing had happened. Zhao Yun's movements were a little big, so much so that it woke up Mu Lianfeng from his sleep. As soon as Mu Lianfeng opened his eyes, he met Zhao Yun's panicked eyes. Miss Yun, what's wrong? Mu Lianfeng asked. How did I sleep in your arms? Zhao Yun asked, her voice a little low. Mu Lianfeng's mind went blank for a moment. He was wondering why a soft thing had burrowed into his arms at night, and he had smelled a woman's fragrance at the tip of his nose. He naturally did not know how Zhao Yun inexplicably fell asleep in his arms, but he was afraid that Zhao Yun would misunderstand him, so he quickly explained, Miss Yun, I didn't do anything to you. I don't know. Did that mean that she fell asleep at night and unknowingly pounced on him? Zhao Yun was so embarrassed that she could not speak. Seeing that Zhao Yun was silent, Mu Lianfeng thought that Zhao Yun did not believe him, and said, Miss Yun, I didn't lie to you. Chapter 228. She was the one who felt embarrassed. After all, she was the one who ran into Mu Lianfeng's arms. Speaking of which, she had taken advantage of him. Because of her embarrassment, Zhao Yun hurriedly got up and hurriedly got out of bed. After washing up, she carried the basket on her back and went out. When she went to Yang City today, she bumped into Mulan again. After a few days of hard work, she made a new batch of things in bamboo baskets and wicker baskets. Mulan was also very happy to see Zhao Yun. Yun, why are you going to Yang City too? If you knew, I would have told you yesterday. Yes, I didn't expect sister-in-law Mulan to be going too. Are you going to sell these things today? Yes, I'll try. I can learn from you last time. Maybe I can sell some of them too, Mulan said with a smile. If she could earn more, she would earn more. No matter how much money she earned, it was still money. It was best to subsidize the family. The old family Zhu's population was gradually increasing, and the burden was gradually increasing. Although she was not sure if she could sell as well as when Zhao Yun helped her last time, she had to give it a try. She still remembered what Zhao Yun said when she was selling the baskets. She could imitate her. Okay, when I'm done with my work, I'll go and help you, Zhao Yun said with a smile. She was happy for Mulan when she saw that she could earn money by herself and run a small business. Sometimes, women had to rely on themselves. Only when they were capable would they not be looked down upon. Like Mulan, who can rely on her own hands to support herself and live a comfortable life, old Madame Zhu will probably treat her a lot better. Among the daughters-in-law of the family Zhu, Mulan was not well liked because her family was poor. When she first married into the family, she did not have much dowry. On the other hand, Mulan's sister-in-law's family was quite well off. She brought a dozen or 20 taels of dowry with her. That was why Mrs. Zhu treated Mulan's sister-in-law well. The family Zhu was not separated from the family, but the dowry from his wife could be kept by himself and didn't need to be handed over. Yun'er, you're so nice. It's nothing. You're welcome. By the way, Yun'er, why did you go out again today? Selling things, Zhao Yun replied vaguely. Mulan didn't continue to ask, but the other women in the carriage had other thoughts. Every time, he didn't see Zhao Yun setting up a stall. What was she selling? He was always so mysterious. Could it be that he sold something to earn money? A woman casually asked, Yun'er, what are you selling? I've been seeing you every day for the past few days. Business is pretty good. It's nothing, Zhao Yun replied indifferently. Yun'er, don't lie to us. How can it be nothing? Tell us. We won't steal your business. We're just curious. It's really nothing. Stingy. If you don't want to tell us, then don't tell us. You're treating us like fools. Zhao Yun really felt a little speechless. Damn it, so what if she didn't tell them? These women looked so eager. They obviously thought that she might have earned money and wanted to learn from her. Naturally, she wasn't that stupid. No matter how these women ridiculed and fooled her, Zhao Yun didn't respond. They could say whatever they wanted. No matter how they scolded her, it wasn't true. The money had really fallen into her pocket. Just as the carriage was about to set off, Qin Hailan came over. After getting into the carriage, she glanced at Zhao Yun and didn't continue to speak. Chapter 229. If it was in the past, Qin Hailan would probably find her an eyesore and make a fuss with her. Zhao Yun didn't think too much. It was best not to talk. It was better than Qin Hailan nagging in her ear. The woman, who thought she could watch the show, couldn't help but feel a little disappointed when the two of them didn't talk much. After an hour, the ox cart finally arrived at Yang City. Now that the weather was getting warmer, there were more and more people on the streets. The bustling scene of people coming and going in Yang City was not worse than the 21st century. Zhao Yun carried the basket and went to the restaurant. A total of 15 caddies of bullfrog was paid for 300 copper coins. The bullfrog in Sun Zhangxuan's restaurant had become the main dish, so many customers ordered it every day. It was just that Zhao Yun sent 2 little bullfrog every day, and there were many people who ordered it, so there was a shortage of supply. Sun Zhangquan had no choice. He didn't have a channel to buy the bullfrog sent by Zhao Yun, or from other places. He didn't even know what this thing was. He could only sell as much as Zhao Yun, or sent over every day. Many customers came but couldn't eat it, so it was inevitable that they would be anxious. After coming so many times and not eating, they couldn't be bothered to come over. If Zhao Yun could supply more, the restaurant's business would definitely be better. Sun Zhongquan remembered that Zhao Yun used to say that this thing was rare and not much, so it would probably be difficult to get a large amount. So he didn't mention it to Zhao Yun. After Zhao Yun sent it over, she came out of the restaurant. Not long after Zhao Yun turned and left, another figure walked out from the other end of the alley. Qin Hailan looked at Zhao Yun's back as she left, and the corners of her mouth curled up into a smug smile. This little bitch, so she sent the things here. Humph, it's good that she found the delivery place. I'll deliver it tomorrow too. I'll make a fortune then. The smile on Qin Hailan's face disappeared. She turned around the alley happily and went back. Of course, Zhao Yun'er did not notice any of this. Zhao Yun'er went to the market and bought the things she needed. She then went to Mulan's place. This time, when he came to town, he bought another caddy of pork and half a caddy of pig liver for Mu Lianfeng to nourish his body. The brushes, ink, and paper he bought for Daodu and Zhao Tianfu were the most expensive. One was the 3-character classic, one was the 100 family surnames, and one was the 1,000-character classic, which cost a total of 60 copper coins. Pen and paper cost a total of 180 copper coins. Zhao Yun'er had already bought the cheapest one, but it was still so expensive. The expenses in the future would only get bigger and bigger. She wanted to think of another way to see if she could start another side business. No one would ever complain about earning too much money. If he saved up more money now, he would be able to afford Daoda's education in the future. When they arrived at Mulan's place, Mulan was much better this time. At least she had learned how to shout and was not as bashful as before. After such a long time, she sold 3 wicker baskets and earned a total of 21 copper coins. Sister-in-law Mulan, you're selling well. Zhao Yun'er said with a smile. Mulan was naturally very happy that she had sold so many baskets by herself. There was an excited smile on her face. Yes, I didn't expect that I could sell so many baskets by myself. Take it slow. It will get better and better. Yes, yes. Zhao Yun'er walked over and helped Mulan to shout. Chapter 230. She earned a total of 162 copper coins, which was a huge sum of money in ancient times. Mulan held the money in her hands and could not believe it. She had earned so much money in such a short period of time. Wasn't it too much? Her family only earned 1 or 2 taels of silver after a year of hard work from farming and selling grain. Looking at Mulan's stunned and incredulous expression, Zhao Yun could not help but want to laugh. In fact, whether it was in ancient times or modern times, one could not earn much money by guarding 1 mu of land. The most profitable thing was still business. Doing business was the fastest way to earn money. Unfortunately, the merchants in ancient times were not like the merchants in the 21st century. The status of the merchants in ancient times was very low. In order to fix the peasants on the land, the ruling class basically limited the development of business in order to stabilize the country. Therefore, the status of the merchants was lower than that of the peasants. Because of this restriction, there were very few people who did business in the whole country. Sister-in-law Mulan, in fact, this is not a lot. If you work hard, you can find other businesses to do, and earn much more money than this. Really? Yun-er. I didn't know that selling things could make so much money before. Of course it's true, but it also has to do with everyone's ability. Some people can make money, while others can't. Mulan nodded and felt that Zhao Yun-er was right. If it were not for Zhao Yun-er's method, she would not have been able to sell it. Last time, she could not sell one for half a day by herself. In the end, if it were not for Zhao Yun-er's help, she would probably have lost money. Sister-in-law Mulan, quickly put the money in your pocket. Don't let others remember it. Zhao Yun reminded her. There were many thieves on the street. It was the principle of not showing off one's wealth. Okay. Mulan heard Zhao Yun's words and quickly put the money away. There was still some time, so Mulan went to buy a caddy of pork. Seeing that Mulan was doing well, the woman who came with her asked with envy, "Mulan girl, your business is doing well? Are they all sold out?" "Yeah, I'm pretty lucky today." "TSK, TSK, TSK. You must have made a lot of money, right?" "It's alright, it's not a lot. Sigh, I haven't even sold half of my vegetables." "Mulan, how do you make those things? Teach auntie when you get back." It wasn't that Mulan didn't want to teach, but after she taught, people would also come to the streets to sell this thing. Her business would definitely be affected. She still wanted to earn more money. Zhao Yun'er tugged at Mulan's sleeve. Actually, there was no need to pay attention to this kind of person. She only knew how to think about other people's things and even said it so matter-of-factly. The ability to earn money wasn't something that could be taught. "Auntie, I'm going to buy some things first. If there's anything, we can talk about it next time." Mulan forced a smile and said goodbye to the woman. What kind of person is this? Didn't you just make some money? Let's see if your business is always so good. The woman muttered. Mulan bought a caddy of meat, but she was still a little reluctant. She turned to ask Zhao Yun'er, "Have you bought the things? Do you want to weigh some meat back?" "I've bought it. I also bought the meat. I spent a lot of money today." "What did you buy?" Zhao Yun'er put down the basket and passed the books, brushes, and ink to Mulan. Chapter 231. I'll take Dowda to school when he's 6 years old. I'll teach Dowda some things in advance. Mulan nodded. "Yun, you can read?" Zhao Yun was stunned by Mulan's question, but she understood that Mulan probably thought that she was teaching Dowda how to read. Zhao Yun would never tell her that she had another man in her family, a capable and knowledgeable heir. She smiled awkwardly and nodded. "Yes, I learned a little from my fifth uncle in the past." That was the only explanation she could come up with. Otherwise, how could a country girl who had never studied be able to read? "I see. That's true. Yun, your fifth uncle is a scholar. He's very knowledgeable. If he can pass the provincial examination, your old Zhao family will be rich." Zhao Yun laughed. Whether old Zhao's family was rich or not had nothing to do with her. "Yun, you're amazing too. There aren't many women in the village who can read." Mulan looked at Zhao Yun enviously. Basically, only rich families would allow their daughters to study. Of course, that was very rare. "That's nothing. I can only read a few words. I don't know anything else." Mulan, on the other hand, is afraid that sister-in-law, "You're clever with your hands." The two of them complimented each other. Zhao Yun thought of Zhu San. He was about 5 or 6 years old and should be able to go to school. She asked Mulan for her opinion. "Sister-in-law Mulan, are you going to send your third son to school?" Mulan sighed. "Of course I want to. But my family Zhu isn't a rich family. Besides third son, there are 2 other boys at home. My parents can't possibly say that they're only going to send third son to school, right? Moreover, the tuition fee for a year is too high. I don't think third son can afford it." Mulan seemed a little helpless. It wasn't that she didn't want to send third son to school. It would cost a lot of money and she had to consider the actual situation. Zhao Yun thought for a moment, "Sister-in-law Mulan, if you can earn so much money every day in the future, you will definitely save enough for San to spend in a year. If you have enough money, can you send him to school?" Mulan was silent for a moment and shook her head. "I probably can't. Even if I earn money, I have too much money. And my mother probably won't let him study. There are many children at home, so the expenses are high. Aren't most of the children in the village not educated? Sister-in-law, Mulan, if that's the case, then you can't live's family. Wouldn't it be too much of a loss for you to spend the money you've earned with the whole family? What was the reason for doing business? Wasn't it to make your life better? Even the money you earned couldn't be spent on the things you wanted. It was better not to earn such money. Speaking of this, Mulan was even sadder. In the past few years, the third branch wasn't favored. Mrs. Zhu didn't like her, so she had to do a lot of housework alone. Compared to her, the other two family Zhu's daughters-in-law were much more comfortable. If she could live with them, she also wanted to live with them. At least if they lived separately, she wouldn't have to take care of the whole family, but her own branch. That would definitely be much more relaxed. Her mother-in-law had a sharp tongue. She liked to scold people when they didn't do anything well. Chapter 232. There were still 3 children at home, so the whole family could barely survive. If they split up and didn't get anything, they wouldn't be able to survive. Forget it, we'll talk about this later, Mulan said helplessly. Zhao Yun couldn't say anything. Since Mulan didn't want to, she couldn't force them to split up. If Mrs. Zhu found out, wouldn't she run to her door and scold her? The two of them returned to old Father Hu's ox cart. Every day, they had to spend Lu Wen's money to go back and forth on old Father Hu's ox cart. Moreover, they had to wake up early in the morning. If she sent bullfrogs over a long period of time, especially when Aunt Lu's family would help her buy bullfrogs in a few days, the amount of bullfrogs she sent would be much larger. If he were to take the bullock cart again, the goods he was selling would be exposed one day. Zhao Yun wondered if she should buy a mode of transportation. The price of this ox was too high. She definitely couldn't afford it. If she bought a horse, the price of a horse would be more expensive. Mules and donkeys in this era were slightly cheaper. Especially donkeys. A donkey wasn't very heavy. 100 to 200 caddies was enough for her. She wasn't in a hurry to go to Yang City every day, so there was no need to buy a horse that could run especially fast. According to the price of this era, a donkey was about 2 taels of silver. 2 taels of silver wasn't a lot, but it wasn't a little either. Zhao Yun didn't have the ability to buy one now. The money she had saved up was only a few hundred copper coins. However, when the time came, Aunt Lu's son would help her buy more bullfrogs. The more bullfrogs they caught, the more money they could make from selling them. When the time came, she should be able to save up 2 taels of silver. After buying a donkey, not only could she use it to send bullfrogs every day, but she could also lend it to Aunt Lu's family. It would be more convenient to go to other villages to collect goods. In addition, she and Mulan might be able to find some small businesses to do. With a donkey, they didn't need to take the ox cart. It would be more convenient to sell things on the streets. Old Father Hu's ox cart jolted and finally returned to the village. Once Zhao Yun returned, she put down the things she bought and took out the books, paper, and pen, and gave them to Daodu and Zhao Tianfu. Both of them looked very happy. He held these things lovingly in his hands. Seeing the 2 children so happy, Zhao Yun'er was satisfied. What she wanted to see the most was the 2 children being happy. Daodu, you and little uncle take the books and let your uncle Feng teach you. Nyangqin is going to cook now. Zhao Yun said. All right. The 2 children happily carried the books into the room and went straight to Mulianfeng. Zhao Yun'er went into the kitchen to prepare lunch. When there was meat, the food was very sumptuous. In addition, Zhao Yun'er had many ways to cook the meat. No matter which dish it was very appetizing. At noon, they ate to their heart's content. For Mulianfeng, he liked the home-cooked dishes made by Zhao Yun more than the dishes made by the Crown Prince residents. After a few days of peaceful and warm life, Mulianfeng found that he didn't want to go back to the Crown Prince residence. The injuries on his body should be healed slowly. This way, he could stay with Zhao Yun'er for a few more days. After lunch, Zhao Yun'er took care of the vegetable garden again. The seeds that were planted began to sprout. The fastest growing ones were the cabbages. She estimated that they would be able to eat them in 10 days to half a month. After busying herself with the vegetable garden, Zhao Yun'er carried the basket on her back and had to go up the mountain. Chapter 233. She originally needed to change Mu Lianfeng's dressing today, but it hadn't been done yet. She would wait for the herbs to be picked before changing Mu Lianfeng's dressing. Seeing that Zhao Yun'er was about to leave, Daodu hurriedly put down the book in his hand and ran to Zhao Yun'er. He asked in a childish voice, "Mother, where are you going?" "I'm going to the mountain to pick herbs for your Uncle Feng." Oh, then mother, Daodu will go with you," Daodu said. The mountain was dangerous. Daodu was afraid that something would happen to Zhao Yun if she went alone. It was always good for him to accompany her. "Second sister, me too," Zhao Tianfu also said. They were all going together. There was no reason for him not to go alone. "Okay, then let's go together." Zhao Yun'er went a few times and really didn't encounter any danger. Perhaps the people in the village were exaggerating too much, or perhaps they had heard the rumors from the past and believed it. They were convinced that there was something strange on the mountain. Until now, no one had tried to enter the mountain. Zhao Yun'er set off with the two children. Mu Lianfeng was left alone in the house. He felt a little lonely. Before Zhao Yun'er went out, Mu Lianfeng reminded her, "Miss Yun'er, be careful on the road. Don't worry. It's been hard on you." "It's okay." Mu Lianfeng smiled slightly. His beautiful smile dazzled Zhao Yun'er's eyes. Zhao Yun hurriedly pulled the two children and left together. She was afraid that if she stayed for a second longer, she would be immersed in Mu Lianfeng's smile. On the way up the mountain, they met Chen Erwa, a little friend who usually caught bullfrogs with Daodu. He was a relatively well-behaved child. Most of the time, people from the countryside would give names like this. They weren't as particular as modern people. His name was Erwa, the second child in the family. Chen Erwa was 7 or 8 years old, about the same age as Zhao Tianfu. He probably didn't eat nutritious food on a daily basis, so he was so skinny that he looked like a bag of bones. Zhao Yun'er felt sorry for her. So when Chen Erwa went to her house, she took out some food for Chen Erwa to eat. Although the Chen family had separated, Chen Erwa's parents had 4 or 5 children in total. He also had several younger brothers and sisters. Their family didn't have much land, and they had many children. Naturally, the food they ate was poor. Chen Erwa's mother, Feng Yu, is from the same village. Zhao Yun has seen her before. She was only 3 or 4 years older than Zhao Yun'er. He was clearly only in his 20s, but he looked abnormally old. He looked like a man in his 30s or 40s. This woman had become like this because she had given birth to so many children, which was harmful to her body. Secondly, she had to take care of several children every day while maintaining the household chores. It was extremely tiring every day. Thirdly, his family was poor and he couldn't afford to eat anything good. It was strange that people didn't age well. In addition, Feng Yu was dark to begin with. In this way, she would probably become an old woman in a few years. What Zhao Yun couldn't figure out was that the people of this era were obviously very poor, but they still kept giving birth to children. If they gave birth to fewer children, their family wouldn't be like that. They would have fewer mouths to feed, and the pressure would be much less. Unfortunately, people in ancient times had different ideas. They believed that the more children there were, the better. In addition, the contraceptive measures in this era weren't good. Basically, every family had many children. "Aunt Yun, can I go up the mountain with you to take a look?" Chen Erwa asked timidly. Looking at the child's expectant eyes, Zhao Yun couldn't bear to refuse. Chapter 234. Zhao Yun felt that she needed to remind her, in case she really brought Qin Erwa up the mountain and encountered any danger. At that time, the child's family would come back to settle the score with her. Qin Erwa shook his head. Aunt Yun, I'm not afraid. You're all here, what's there to be afraid of? And I also want to go up the mountain to take a look. I've never been there before. Previously, he had heard Zhao Tianfu and Dao De talk about some things on the mountain, but he had only heard about it from Zhao Tianfu and Dao De's ears. He had not seen it with his own eyes, but he was very interested. Zhao Yun thought that she also had 2 children, one more child was not much. So she said to Qin Erwa, Aunt Yun can take you there, but you can't tell your parents when you go back. Even if nothing happened on the mountain, Zhao Yun knew that the Qin family would definitely not want a child to go up the mountain and encounter any danger. Qin Erwa nodded heavily. Aunt Yun, don't worry, I definitely won't say anything. Zhao Yun smiled. Okay, let's go up together. Qin Erwa's little face revealed an excited smile. This child was usually at home and was not valued by his parents. He was neither the oldest nor the youngest. He was not very smart and likable, but he felt happy to follow behind Zhao Yun. Qin Erwa walked behind Zhao Yun and Daodu, holding Daodu's hand very gently. Qin Erwa looked at the interaction between Zhao Yun and Daodu, and a trace of envy appeared in his eyes. If only his mother treated him like this. But since he was young, his mother had always yelled at him and had never been gentle. Zhao Yun turned around and looked at Qin Erwa to make sure that he was not following. When she turned around, she found Qin Erwa looking at her in a daze. Zhao Yun thought that something had happened to Qin Erwa, so she asked, Erwa, what's wrong? Qin Erwa pulled out a smile and said, Aunt Yun, it's nothing. Then hurry up and catch up. Don't fall behind. Watch your step, don't trip on the tree stump. Zhao Yun warned and then called Qin Erwa over. Come, Erwa. Aunt Yun will hold your hand. This way, we can walk more steadily. Qin Erwa was a little embarrassed and took the money. Zhao Yun held Daodu in one hand and Qin Erwa in the other. Zhao Yun's hand was a little warm. Qin Erwa felt very secure and warm. He raised his head and glanced at Zhao Yun. At this moment, he really wanted his mother to be like Zhao Yun. If he could have such a mother, he would be very happy, right? Zhao Yun was looking for herbs on the mountain. When she found them, she started digging with the children. Then, he introduced the effects of the herbs to the children. Although the children were still young, it would be good for them to know more things in the future. Especially these more practical things. They dug the herbs for more than an hour. It was not easy to come to the mountain. Zhao Yun was reluctant to go back, so she looked around to see if there was anything good. She saw a lot of birds' nests in the book. Zhao Yun put down the basket in her hand and prepared to climb the tree to get the birds' eggs. Aunt Yun, I know how to climb trees. Let me go. Qin Erwa took the initiative. Chapter 235. Erwa, can you do it? If you can't, you can let Aunt Yun do it. Zhao Yun was a little worried. This tree is not short. If he falls from the tree, it will not be a light fall. Aunt Yun, I can do it. Qin Erwa said. Daodu also said in a soft voice. Mother, Erwa Gij is very good at climbing trees. We have all seen it. Well, Erwa, then you go up. Slow down, don't fall. Zhao Yun urged. She was still a little worried that Qin Erwa would have an accident. Qin Erwa nodded heavily. Zhao Yun stood under the tree and saw Qin Erwa climb up the tree. The speed of climbing the tree is like a monkey. In addition, Qin Erwa is very thin and small. When he climbs the tree, his body is very light. Zhao Yun saw it with her own eyes. Only then did she know why this child took the initiative to ask her to climb the tree. He is indeed much more powerful than her. Chen Erwa took out all the eggs in the bird's nest. He took out a few birds' nests and got about 30 or 40 bird eggs. Plus, he caught 3 or 4 big birds. When he goes back, he can definitely eat a few sumptuous meals. Zhao Yun picked a few large leaves and wrapped the bird eggs and put them in the basket. The bottom of the basket is filled with herbs. This kind of cushion will be soft and will not break the bird eggs. As for the bird that he caught, Zhao Yun tied its wings and put it in the basket. Erwa, you have done the most today. When the time comes, you can take half of the bird eggs back. Let your mother cook for you. This is delicious. Zhao Yun lovingly touched Chen Erwa's head. Chen Erwa has never been praised by anyone. His parents have never said this to him. He was slightly moved in his heart. He said to Zhao Yun, Aunt Yun, it's okay. You can take it back. I don't need it. What? You don't like to eat it? You should be polite to Aunt Yun. Chen Erwa still shook his head. Aunt Yun, even if I take it back, my mother may not let me eat it. So it's better for you to eat. Zhao Yun sighed and looked at Chen Erwa with deep affection. She guessed that he was not favored at home, and it was not his turn to have delicious food. How about this, Erwa, come to Aunt Yun's place later. Yun will cook for you, what do you think? Facing the gentleness in Zhao Yun's eyes, Chen Erwa felt his heart melt. She lowered her head shyly. Aunt Yun, wouldn't that be too troublesome for you? Of course not. Then I'll eat at your place. All right. Today's harvest was quite bountiful. These eggs could be used to replenish the children's protein. When Zhao Yun called the children down the mountain, she saw something moving in the grass not far away. It looks like a pheasant, Zhao Yun said softly. When the children heard that it was a pheasant, they were all excited. Aunt Yun, I'll go take a look. Chen Erwa ran over. His footsteps were very light, and no movement could be heard. Of course, the thing in the grass did not hear anyone coming over. When Chen Erwa got closer, the thing seemed to have reacted. Just as it was about to run, Chen Erwa suddenly pounced over. Poochie poochie, the thing in Chen Erwa's arms struggled, but it could not break free. Zhao Yun also rushed over to help. Chapter 236. With the help of Zhao Yun, the chicken couldn't run away even if it wanted to. Zhao Yun quickly took out the hemp grass and tied the chicken's wings. She weighed it in her hand and estimated that it weighed 3 or 4 jin. It was fatter than the pheasants she usually saw. If she took it back to cook, she estimated that she could cook a large plate of chicken. It had to be said that Chen Erwa had done well to catch this chicken. Otherwise, with Zhao Yun's skill, the pheasant would have flown away by the time she arrived. Aunt Yun, there are eggs in the chicken coop. Chen Erwa pointed to the chicken coop. Zhao Yun looked down and saw that there were more than 10 eggs lying in the chicken coop. She didn't know if the pheasant wanted to hatch chicks. Zhao Yun carefully picked up the eggs. She put them into the basket. Today's harvest was beyond her expectations. Erwa, you are so amazing. You can even catch this pheasant. Chen Erwa shyly scratched his head and his little face was red. However, it could be seen that he was still very happy to be praised by Zhao Yun. Erwa Gij is so amazing. Daodu also looked at Chen Erwa with some admiration. It's nothing. Chen Erwa became more and more shy. Erwa, eat at Aunt Yun's place today. Yun cooked dinner early so that your mother won't be in a hurry to call you home for dinner. Chen Erwa shyly responded. Because of the bountiful harvest, when they went down the mountain, they were very happy. Zhao Yun also sang a few nursery rhymes for the children. The children of this era had naturally never heard of it. Zhao Yun's voice was clear and pleasant, and her singing drifted far in the woods. The joy of this moment was very rare. And this carefree rural life, Zhao Yun found that she also liked it from the bottom of her heart. After walking for 20 or 30 minutes, they finally went down the mountain and reached the road in the village. She didn't expect to meet Chen Erwa's mother, Feng Yu, on the way. When Feng Yu saw Chen Erwa and Zhao Yun'er together and laughing so happily, his face immediately darkened. He scolded Chen Erwa and then said sternly, "Erwa, where did you go? Aren't you afraid that she'll lead you astray if you get together with anyone? Our Chen family is an innocent family." Feng Yu's words were very unpleasant to hear. In fact, he was indirectly scolding the locust tree. She thought she was scolding Chen Erwa, but she was scolding Zhao Yun'er in disguise. Zhao Yun didn't feel good when she heard that. Was there a need for this Feng Yu to speak so harshly? It was too much to do it in front of a child. Feng Yu didn't feel it at all. A pair of eyes coldly swept over Zhao Yun'er's face with a look of disgust. Chen Erwa felt uncomfortable when he heard Feng Yu say that about Zhao Yun'er. "Mother, don't say that about Aunt Yun. I want to play with Aunt Yun." Seeing that Chen Erwa actually defended Zhao Yun'er, Feng Yu was even more furious. She poked Chen Erwa's head with her thick black fingers and reprimanded, "You damn child, how dare you talk back to your mother? If I see you running away in fear and hanging out with some shady people again, I will break your legs." Chen Erwa didn't dare to speak after being scolded. Zhao Yun'er looked at Feng Yu's attitude towards Chen Erwa and shook her head in her heart. This child was really pitiful. After all, he was her own child. She didn't need to treat him like this, right? Chapter 237. Zhao Yun'er's words made Feng Yu very unhappy. Feng Yu coldly snorted at Zhao Yun'er and said, "What, I'm disciplining my son and you want to interfere? Zhao Yun'er, who do you think you are? Meddling in other people's business." Zhao Yun was refuted by Feng Yu and didn't know what to say. She was silent for a moment. There was nothing wrong with what Feng Yu said. She was disciplining her own child. She had no right to interfere. However, Chen Erwa was scolded like this because he was with her. After thinking about it, Zhao Yun replied, "I don't care if you discipline your own child. Then tell me, what do you mean by a shady person? You have to give me an explanation for scolding me like this, right?" Feng Yu rolled her eyes at Zhao Yun. If you're not a shady person, then what are you? Doesn't everyone in the village know what kind of woman you are? You got pregnant before marriage and then seduced men. You dare to do it but don't dare to let others talk about it?" Zhao Yun looked at Feng Yu's rampant appearance and really wanted to slap her a few times. After all, she was Chen Erwa's mother. In front of Chen Erwa, Zhao Yun couldn't do anything. "You're not allowed to talk about my mother like this." Dao Du was also angry. His little face angrily stared at Feng Yu. "So what if I talk about your mother? Aren't you also a little bastard? Humph. Tell me, where's your father? Is there no one?" Dao Du was so angry that he cried for a moment. He suddenly threw himself into Zhao Yun'er's arms. Chen Erwa couldn't stand Feng Yu's excessive appearance and said to Feng Yu, "Mother, how can you say that about Aunt Yun and Dao Du? You're so bad." Zhao Yun patted Dao Du's back with one hand. She could endure it, but in front of Chen Erwa, it was fine as long as they didn't do anything too excessive to her. Obviously, this Feng Yu wasn't. This woman was simply pushing her luck. Just as Feng Yu was feeling proud of himself, Zhao Yun'er slapped Feng Yu across the face. Feng Yu immediately felt a burning pain on his face. "You! How dare you hit me? I'll fight you to the death." Zhao Yun'er scolded, "I'm warning you, don't provoke me. This slap is for what you said. If you fight me again, you'll end up worse than this." Chen Erwa quickly pulled Feng Yu back. "Mother, don't fight with Aunt Yun. You can't beat her." Feng Yu had heard some things in the village before. The current Zhao Yun'er was not as easy to bully as before. She was very powerful. If he couldn't make a move, was he going to take a slap for nothing? Feng Yu sat down on the ground and began to cry. He cursed, "You hit me. Is there any justice in this world? Zhao Yun'er frowned in disgust. This Feng Yu was not old, but how could she be more difficult to deal with than those middle-aged women in their 30s or 40s? Mother, get up. Chen Erhua pulled Feng Yu on the ground. Feng Yu blamed the pain of her slap on Chen Erhua. If it wasn't for this little brat, she wouldn't have been beaten so badly. Therefore, when Chen Erhua was pulling Feng Yu kicked Chen Erhua, and Chen Erhua fell to the ground. His hand rubbed against the sharp stones on the ground, and his skin was immediately scraped and some blood oozed out. Although it was painful, Chen Erhua endured it and didn't cry. Zhao Yun'er didn't know why Feng Yu, as a mother, was so cruel to her own child. Chapter 238. Zhao Yun looked at Chen Erhua with heartache and helped him up. Erhua, how are you? Does it hurt? Chen Erhua shook his head, feeling wronged. No pain? Sigh, how could that be? So much of his skin had been scraped off. The injury was already very serious. Sighing, Zhao Yun could not say anything. The more she blamed Feng Yu, the more disappointed Chen Erhua would be. She thought that it would take a long time, but fortunately, Chen Erhua's father, Chen Ainyu, came over. Chen Ainyu was only 27 or 28 years old. He looked like Feng Yu, very dark and very skinny. However, he was very tall, about 1.8 meters. In this era, he was already considered tall. Chen Ainyu saw his wife sitting on the ground carelessly and could not help but frown. He pulled Feng Yu up. Why are you sitting on the ground? What do you look like? Chen Ainyu's tone had a hint of reprimand. In this era where men were superior to women, most women were more afraid of men and were submissive to men. After Chen Ainyu reprimanded her, Feng Yu did not dare to cry too loudly. Instead, she complained to Chen Ainyu. Ainyu, look at my face. It's so red. It's all because of this B*TCH. Chen Ainyu looked at Feng Yu's cheek that had been slapped. He replied faintly, your face is clearly dark. Where is it red? Because of Chen Ainyu's words, Zhao Yun'er almost burst out laughing. She was originally quite angry, but now she only felt that it was funny. Feng Yu's face was dark. She really did get slapped, but there was no reaction. It was probably because the original black color covered the red color. Speaking of which, this Feng Yu was also very dark. She looked like she came from Africa. Feng Yu was a little anxious. She moved her face closer and pulled Chen Ainyu, saying, look again, Ainyu, look again. It's definitely there. Chen Ainyu was a little annoyed. All right, what's going on? She wouldn't hit you for no reason, right? Zhao Yun looked at Chen Ainyu again. She felt that this man should be more reasonable than Feng Yu. Without waiting for Zhao Yun'er to explain, Chen Erhua helped Zhao Yun'er to explain. Chen Ainyu's face darkened. He reprimanded Feng Yu, you still have the face to be hit? You're just a troublemaker. Feng Yu felt wronged. Ainyu, you're my man. You're not helping me, you're helping another woman? Has your soul been taken away by this little B*TCH as well? How could this be? Ainyu? He had only seen Zhao Yun'er today. How could he have any shady business with Zhao Yun'er? You crazy woman. If you talk nonsense again, I'll teach you a lesson when we get back. Chen Ainyu said fiercely. Feng Yu didn't dare to speak anymore. Chen Ainyu looked at Zhao Yun'er and apologized to Zhao Yun'er. Miss Yun'er, my wife's words were a little harsh. I hope you don't take it to heart. I'll apologize on her behalf. Since Chen Ainyu had said so, Zhao Yun'er didn't have any reason to not let it go. On the contrary, this Chen family finally had a reasonable person. She was quite glad. Chapter 239. Feng Yu's matter had nothing to do with Chen Ainyu and Chen Erwa. If she really wanted to settle the score, she could settle the score with Feng Yu alone later. Zhao Yun's slight smile, on her delicate and pretty face, was particularly charming. Chen Ainyu had never seen such a beautiful woman. He didn't have the slightest bit of interest in a dark and swarthy woman every day. Zhao Yun's smile made her feel the beauty of a woman. For a moment, Chen Ainyu was a little stunned. Feng Yu saw Zhao Yun smiling at her man, and her man was also attracted by Zhao Yun. It was as if she had hooked his soul. She immediately cursed in her heart. This little B***tch really only knew how to seduce people. Now she was probably eyeing her man again. A pair of resentful eyes glared at Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun pretended not to see it. She naturally knew Feng Yu's warning. But she was not seducing people. Ainyu, aren't we leaving yet? Feng Yu pulled Chen Ainyu. If they did not leave quickly, they did not know what would happen. Only then did Chen Ainyu react and realize that he had lost his composure. Go, of course we're going. Chen Ainyu responded. Then let's go quickly. Okay. Chen Erwa wanted to follow, but his leg was injured and he could not walk at all. Feng Yu not only ignored him, but turned back and said to Chen Erwa, Erwa, let's go back and see how to deal with you. Feng Yu also blamed Chen Erwa for today's bitter experience. Chen Erwa was so scared that he trembled. Okay, don't scare Erwa. Let the child go quickly. Zhao Yun thought that the pheasant had not been cooked yet. If Chen Erwa went back, he might not be able to eat it. Seeing that the wounds on Chen Erwa's legs and hands seemed to be serious, she said to Chen Ainyu, Erwa's father, I think Erwa is badly hurt. How about this? I still have some herbs at home. I will take Erwa back and bandage him. When he is bandaged, I will let him go back. What do you think? Chen Ainyu thought for a moment and nodded. Then I'll have to trouble Miss Yuner. It's no trouble. Feng Yu was too lazy to see Chen Erwa. It was good that this damn child didn't come back. It would be better if he stayed with Zhao Yun and didn't come back. However, Zhao Yun's words still made her very angry. Wasn't pretending to be kind in front of her man a way to seduce him? This woman was really scheming. On the way, Chen Ainyu couldn't help but scold Feng Yu. Mother of my child, sometimes you go too far. Erwa is our biological child after all. Why are you so cruel to him? It's better for an outsider to treat our Erwa better. Chen Ainyu's sigh was also true. Over the years, there were many children in the family, and there were always some who were not favored. When Feng Yu gave birth to Chen Erwa, she had a trip to the gates of hell, so Feng Yu felt that Chen Erwa brought misfortune to her, so she treated this child the worst. But for Chen Ainyu, any child was the same. They were all his children. For so many years, if he had not often protected Erwa, who knew what would have become of him? Chapter 240. Woman, what nonsense are you spouting again? I'm just telling the truth. Child's father, what kind of lie are you spouting? I don't know who was the one who stared straight at that bitch just now, and you still say you didn't? Why don't you ask others if they believe you? Feng Yu cried and made a fuss again. The more she thought about it, the more aggrieved she felt. Wasn't that bitch just a little better looking than her? Was there a need to stare at her like that? You're too unreasonable. If you keep spouting nonsense, see if I don't teach you a lesson. Chen Ainyu glared at Feng Yu fiercely. Feng Yu was frightened by Chen Ainyu's look. She knew that if she spoke too much, Chen Ainyu might beat her when they got back. She quickly shut her mouth, but her hatred towards Zhao Yun increased a little. After Chen Ainyu and Feng Yu left, Zhao Yun squatted in front of Chen Erwa and asked softly, Erwa, it hurts a lot, right? Can you stand up and walk? Or Aunt Yun will be. Chen Erwa quickly shook his head, it's okay, Aunt Yun, I can walk by myself. Really? Don't try to be brave. Really, Aunt Yun, I'll get up slowly and walk slowly. It'll be okay. Chen insisted. Zhao Yun looked at Chen admiringly. Actually, this child was not that old. If it was the 21st century, he would have already thrown himself into his parents' arms and cried in pain. How could he be like now, not crying or making a fuss, and still insisting on getting up by himself? Is great. Zhao Yun praised and helped Chen up. Then she supported him and followed her back home. Zhao Yun put down the basket and took out the things inside. She picked out the medicine to stop bleeding in pain, ground it and started to apply it on Chen leg. She took out a piece of white cloth and bandaged Chen leg. How is it, are you better? Much better. Thank you, Aunt Yun. No need to thank me. Zhao Yun patted Chen head. He asked Chen to sit down and rest while Zhao Tianfu accompanied him. Daodu, on the other hand, had already run into the house. Zhao Yun got up, carried a basin of hot water, and entered the room. After entering, she found Daodu crying in Mu Lianfeng's arms. Mu Lianfeng hugged Daodu and gently patted Daodu's back. Daodu's small body sank into Mu Lianfeng's embrace. It was a little warm. Zhao Yun hurriedly asked, Daodu, what's wrong? Zhao Yun could hear Daodu's soft sobs. If the child wanted to cry, shouldn't he be crying in her arms? How did she end up in Mu Lianfeng's arms? Daodu lifted his small and delicate face, which was still tear-stained. Looking at Daodu's aggrieved little face, Zhao Yun's heart ached. Mu Lianfeng explained, Daodu said that he wants a father. Zhao Yun was stunned. Mu Lianfeng began to explain again. Daodu said that others say that he is a wild child and has no father. If I become his father, no one will say that about him anymore. Zhao Yun was a little embarrassed. Master Mu, Daodu is young and doesn't know anything. He just said that casually, don't take it seriously. Chapter 241. Besides what? Besides, I think Daodu is very cute. I'm very happy to be Daodu's father. Mu Lianfeng said with a faint smile on his lips. Looking at the smile on Mu Lianfeng's face, which seemed to have a deeper meaning, Zhao Yun was a little embarrassed. What did this man mean? If he was willing to be Daodu's father, did that mean that he was willing to marry her? Was this a confession to her? Zhao Yun shook her head. Maybe she had misunderstood and was narcissistic. Mu Lianfeng had so many women around him, and there were so many beauties. With so many beauties around him, and her looks were so ordinary. Would Mu Lianfeng take a fancy to her? It wasn't that he wasn't confident, but sometimes it was better to be realistic. Otherwise, there would be a misunderstanding and a joke. Mu. Young Master Mu, are you joking? Zhao Yun said with a smile. Joking? Miss Yun, why would I joke? I really like Daodu, and I think Daodu is very good. Why don't I take Daodu as my godson? Mu Lianfeng was still smiling as he said to Zhao Yun, Mu. Young Master Mu, you want to take Daodu as your godson? Zhao Yun, asked with uncertainty. What was Mu Lianfeng's status? He was the heir. If he took Daodu as his godson, Daodu's status would rise along with Mu Lianfeng. Seeing that Zhao Yun, didn't say anything, Mu Lianfeng thought that Zhao Yun, didn't agree, so he asked again, what's wrong, Miss Yun, Does Miss Yun think that it's inappropriate for Daodu to take me as his godson? No. Zhao Yun hurriedly waved her hand. Then, young Master Mu, it's not a small matter to take in a godson. Do you need to discuss it with your family? Will it affect you in the future if you take in Daodu? After all, you're not married yet. Naturally, no one else can interfere with my decision. As long as Miss Yun agrees, there's no need to worry about anything else. Zhao Yun had no reason to refuse after hearing Mu Lianfeng's words. If Dao De was willing, Mu Lianfeng was also willing. Was too. It's their family's family. That's right, they were at a disadvantage. Only Z's faces go, Er's eyes. He was just waiting for Zhao Yun, to nod. If Zhao Yun, refused, Dao De would probably be sad again. Is. The corners of Mu Lianfeng's lips curled up slightly. That's good. Is there any ceremony needed for this? Zhao Yun, asked. The ceremony of the 21st century was probably different from the ancient times. She didn't know what to do in this era. Miss Yun, I'll do the ceremony when I get back to the Shizi's residence. All right then. Seeing that Zhao Yun and Mu Lianfeng had reached an agreement, Dao De wiped away the tears on his face with his tender little hands. Mother, father, Dao De's mother and father were very sweet, and it softened people's hearts. For some reason, Zhao Yun, still had a strange feeling. If Dao De called her father like this every day, wouldn't people think that Mu Lianfeng was her man if they heard it? Mu Lianfeng patted Dao De's head lovingly. It was rare for him to show fatherly love in his eyes. This kind of feeling was something he had never had before. You're tuning into the Biyao's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.